Guys, welcome to the Tarkov Talk podcast. Guys, I'm glad everybody could be here tonight. We're going to be talking about all things Tarkov, all the things that we all love, all the things that we may hate, but, you know, it's Tarkov. We're all somewhat addicted. Even if we take a break, we can't step away for very long. So we have some fantastic guests on our wonderful podcast panel tonight. First of all, right next to me is Miss Trash, TTV. Many of you know her. We all love her. She is hilarious. Awesome member of the Tarkov community. If you guys don't know Miss Trash, a little bit about her. She is the queen of the Trash family. Started out gaming at a very young age with World of Warcraft, which I think she still plays to this day. Also plays Rainbow Six, Skyrim, other variety games, occasionally some scary games as well. This is her second full wipe from Escape from Tarkov. She's taking Tarkov seriously this time. Lives for having fun. And my favorite quote for her is her newfound love for shoeies. So everybody welcome Miss Trash to the podcast. And next to Miss Trash, we have Gino! A little bit about Gino, if you guys don't already know him. 19-year-old ex-competitive Counter-Strike player. Been playing games since he was a young child or a little kid, whichever you prefer. Became interested in first-person shooter-style games like CSGO and Escape from Tarkov. After discovering these games, found a love for streaming, enjoys making others smile, and strives to be the light in someone else's darkness. And many of us know him for his sheesh. And right below me, joining us this evening, we have Carson! 11. I just want to do that because of Roman numerals. A little bit about Carson, if you guys don't already know him. He obviously streams on Twitch. 8-year Navy veteran, full-time content creator. Started PC shooters in 2006 with America's Army. Not a lot of people know what that is. I'm one of the people that do. Played competitive pro. What is DWC? We'll ask him in a bit. In iRacing from 2009 to 2014 before stepping away for deployment, returning to PC gaming in 2016 with PUBG. That was until Tarkov took over his life in 2019. And he's a Labs main. Next to Carson, we have Papanati. Guys, a little bit about Papanati. Psychology student from Uruguay. Loves meeting new people and making friends. Speaks Spanish, English, and a bit of Portuguese. Enjoys all types of games, but first-person shooters are her favorite. She is a official Escape from Tarkov Sherpa. And a cat lover. We just deemed her the Sherpa of the group tonight. And next to Papanati, we all know him. We all love him. Very loud, very hype. The Atlas family. A little bit about Atlas, if you guys don't know him. Former U.S. Marine Corps infantryman, married to his beautiful wife, Mrs. Atlas, and is a dad-to-be. Everybody make sure in chat, give Atlas a little congrats if you could. Plays a variety of games such as Witcher, Skyrim, Bioshock, Squad, and of course, Escape from Tarkov. Atlas has over 6,500 hours in the game and has participated in Twitch Rivals and also helped cast tournaments and events as well. And he is the unofficial spokesperson for Dale's Pale Ale. And if you're new here and you don't know who I am, I'll fill you in right now. I am Dad Life. I'm your host tonight. Dad gamer, turf manager, and consumer of all the caffeine. I enjoy shooting sports. I started gaming on PC, unlike most people, on a Commodore 64 way back when I was a wee young lad. Loved gaming, played World of Warcraft for years. PUBG, Apex, now Escape from Tarkov. This is my second full wipe And it's my first wipe, really doing the grind and getting that Kappa. Everybody knows me as the Mustache Man, so there we have it. That is our group for tonight, guys. Thank you very much for that hype train. I appreciate each and every one of you that are here tonight. So tonight we're going to be talking about all things Tarkov. The way that it's going to work is we're going to talk about our topics, and then we'll open some discussion, and we'll take some questions from chat, guys. So we're glad that you're all here, and I guess we'll get right into it. I want to know, so far, let's talk about current wipe on in Tarkov. So, Miss Trash, why don't you start us off with how do you feel about this wipe in Escape from Tarkov? Oh, hold on here. Oh. There we go. Now I can hear you.
I was gonna say, just aside from the economy kind of getting a little broken in the beginning, I think it's definitely getting to a point now where it's starting to make a little bit more sense. But I definitely would love to see more content from the game coming at next wipe, I think.
Okay. All right.
Maybe like daily challenges, something like that,
Okay. Yeah, we'll get into some of those ideas in a little bit. Awesome.
Yeah.
Gina, what about you? What do you think about the current wipe compared to other wipes that you've played in?
If we're comparing the wipes, this one is definitely like the most. It's probably the roughest I've seen when it comes to desync, but in like server issues and everything. But like I can't complain too much because it was really rough before. But otherwise, I mean, I've been having fun. It's just I've been getting burnt out pretty easily playing games. Like it used to be able like. I used to be able to play like I don't know 6-7 hours, but now I can hardly even play 4. So it's one of those things.
Okay. All right. What about you, Carson? You have quite a few hours in the game. What do you think about this wipe compared to other wipes you've played? This man is muted in Discord.
Yeah, sorry about that. As far as the quality for the actual game, I feel it's pretty similar to the last wipe. Yeah, I don't feel like they updated a lot of the quality of life stuff. Actually, mid-wipe they did though. Mid-wipe they fixed a few things. I don't know if you guys remember at the beginning of the wipe we still had stutter issues, a lot of stutter issues. And it was actually midway through this wipe that they fixed a lot of that. I don't know about you guys, but I don't get a lot of those. Like there was a lot of issues where we were like still coming, like if you were in your inventory, it would still like kind of stutter after you tried to exit it. I remember that was very prevalent still towards the beginning of this wipe, and they've corrected that. So I appreciate that, but there's still a lot of issues that they need to resolve. There's still bugs in the game that have been here since I started in 2019 that I think were even around prior to that. So yeah, I don't think a lot has changed in my opinion, but that's just me.
All right, Nat, how about you? How's the wipe been for you?
My turn. Okay, I can't compare this wipe to any other wipe because this is my first wipe ever.
Yeah.
And I started playing the game May last year at the beginning of previous wipe.
Okay.
So I just started along with the wipe, and the only thing that I can tell is what Ms. Trash mentioned about the economy being broken.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's
a thing. I think I don't know 1-2 weeks into the wipe, everyone had like 100 mil, and it was kind of crazy with Bitcoin going up, and it took kind of a long time to decide what to do with Bitcoin, and I think it was too late when they did it.
Coming into this wipe, it probably 2 weeks in probably felt like when you had just started playing the previous wipe, right? At the end of the wipe, you're like, wait, I thought this was going to be great. Probably people told you, like, oh, it's the start of the wipe. It's great. Everything's going to be fresh. There's going to be some time where you get to like, you're on a level playing field with everybody, right? Is that all the stuff you kind of heard?
Yeah.
Did it feel like that?
It's kind of rough when you start because you need to save money and get gear. And I was like, dude, I have millions. I can spend everything. Look at my Bitcoin farm. I
Yeah.
upgraded. I rushed my hideout, and suddenly I had money until they decided to nerf the Bitcoin, and then my economy is going down
Yeah.
along with the wipe.
All right, Atlas. Same question to you. How do you compare this wipe to other wipes? I think you've probably been playing the longest out of anybody here, so might want to unmute.
I agree with what Gino said about desync. For me also, the timing was a little weird. Like it was Christmas, right, or Christmas Eve when it wiped, right? Just it wasn't like horribly, it didn't horribly impact me, but I want a no life for like a week, and I wasn't able to do that because of family and stuff, and I know a lot of people were like on vacation stuff, so they got kind of screwed or whatever you want to call it more. But so that timing was a little weird. I don't know personally, but I love it. I love early wipe. No matter what wipe I played, early wipe's always my favorite. And it just feels like Gino said, like later and later, PvP's great, especially like, 100, 200 hours after you get Kappa, but then it's just like, we need something else, man. And you can reset your account, hardcore mode and stuff, but like horizontally inside the game, all the other players, I like when we're all on that. We start at that same line, it's just something different about it, man. So for me, this wipe has been great, but like I just said with Gino and everybody else, the late wipe is just rough for me, and I tend to fall off to other games.
All right, cool, awesome. I mean, this is my second full wipe. Again, I started at the end of a wipe, and then about a month before there was a wipe, so I've had 2 full wipes under my belt. I feel like going through 2 wipes now, every wipe that I've gone through, it feels like it progresses faster and faster, like towards endgame. Like people are getting so efficient. All of these fantastic content creators are really like giving really good guides on how to get to 40 and how to get to Kappa, and that's awesome. And it's great to be that person that's like has the time to do that. But at the same time, it's almost like it's not cheating, but it's almost like a fast track to end game. And if there's a lot of people doing that, and at this point there's a lot of different content out there, and even tools that I promote in my chat as well, that's like, like quest trackers and stuff like that, and, items like that you need for the game without even having to remember, like there's things that track it and stuff now. So it kind of fast tracks you to that I'm a Chad mentality, or what people call Chads. And I think that this wipe, it really did. It felt like 2 weeks in, you were fighting people just the same as it was 3 weeks prior to, like the week prior to Christmas, that had all the gear, in the game, and felt like they had unlimited income. And that's the way that I feel a little bit about it. So I think we're all kind of in, have a couple different takes, but I think we're all in, probably feel kind of the same way about the wipe in general. Let's go into what Ms. Trash was starting to talk about. The lack of things to do once you've gotten further into the wipe. Miss Trash mentioned like daily quests. What are some ideas that you guys might have as far as things that they could introduce into the game to make it exciting, and maybe, give people things to do? Like Atlas said, like he kind of gets to this point where he just kind of gets a little burnt out and then goes to play some other games. So what are some things you guys think that they could introduce in the game, or that you'd like to see in the game, that might make the game a little bit more interesting, or capture, more people's interest?
I've been saying this for years, or not years, probably a few months now. I don't want to lie, but I think to get Kappa, like once you complete the collector quest, you have to reset your game account, and it will put you back to square one. You'll get the Kappa container when you restart your game and reset your account, and then it puts that Kappa player back on day one.
Like a rebirth.
It's like a prestige system.
Yeah.
Right? And I think they could maybe do that with another one, like another version of like maybe collector with more streamer items or something else. And then it gives you different clothing items, You could do a whole bunch with it. So
Well,
that's cool.
not to interject here, but actually, what's interesting is if I recall, that's similar to Nikita's vision is that the end game is you do escape
Yeah.
and you lose. I'm pretty sure like you lose everything in your stash or something like that. Like that was if I recall a long time ago, he said that. Well, not that long ago. It was like a year ago. But it's very similar to his. I think his vision is that you start over. Like it forces you to start over instead of pretty much. I guess what that would do, which is interesting, is that would remove the wipe cycle in a way.
Yeah.
Like the wipe cycle would actually be you finally reaching endgame. That
Yeah.
you would have your own wipe cycle, if that makes sense. I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, I know that they talked about it. I think it was yesterday. Clean and Nikita and a couple of people had a little podcast, and I haven't caught up on that. I caught up on the one from the previous week. About some of that stuff that's coming as far as maps and stuff are concerned. What about you, Atlas? Do you have any ideas of things that they could do to make things more exciting? I know you do.
Actually, a couple people. I love Gino's idea. I'll just say that. But I was gonna say, or someone in my chat just mentioned like community-driven tasks or something, or maybe like, I don't know if you've ever played like Black Desert Online, but in that game, like, just all of a sudden it would be like world boss has appeared, boom, and like everybody would run. And it's different because it's open world, but you could do something like kill Killa 100 times with the next 45 minutes or something as a United States server or something. I don't know how they would exactly do it by region or something, but it would also create kind of like a battleground type of situation, because then even more people would be running for that certain objective. More PvP would be created. And then like if everybody completes the goal or something, like, or if you participated in helping a little bit, like you would get some kind of reward from Fence or something, like through the mail. Just something like that. Maybe daily tasks too. I don't know if Miss Trash wants to talk about that, but just like World of Warcraft has,
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah, that doesn't.
World of Warcraft expert, we're deferring to you. What would you like to see?
Just what I was talking about with like the daily tasks, just things that kind of like, because I know, for me, like I'm late Kappa grind, but I kind of stopped going for Kappa. I'm mostly just doing PvP right now. But one of the things that's really like that hinders your Kappa grind way later is that certain maps become more and more dead. So daily tasks that can bring players to certain maps that usually kind of start to fizzle out towards the end of wipe, specifically places like woods. Because there's just some maps that don't get the same kind of population going through it. And it really like I said, I'm on like Tarkov shooter, I think 8, which is that 3 bolt action PMC kills, and I never see PMCs. If I do see PMCs on woods, I see like 1 or 2 at this point. Like nobody, at least on my servers, really seems to like to go to woods. And I think that daily tasks and stuff like that would be really good in bringing also more population to the maps that people kind of need their already like Kappa driven tasks to come back to. Is something
That's
that
a
I
good
think would be really
point.
cool.
I hate to interject here, but she
Oh, go
brings up
ahead.
a really good point. She brings up a really good point. The servers are really hard to fill right now. And if you
Mhm.
have a PMC related quest right now, I feel bad for you. Like
Mhm.
legitimately.
Because
Yeah.
late wipe also it takes away a lot of the population in general too, because everybody's starting to get burnt out. The people that don't stream Tarkov every single day, they don't play Tarkov as much as the wipe goes, because it's like Chad Nation at some point, and especially with how the economy started in this wipe, it rushed the. I think it rushed this wipe a lot more. It pushed people to where they were already max gear, and it made it so like that's who you're running into. Kind of what you were saying earlier, where you're running into the players that you ran into a week before Christmas, a week after Christmas, like so definitely something that brings just people in, not even just to certain maps, but just in general, and keeps them interested. I think that's why I think like the daily task idea is what it really, I don't remember who I heard bring it up first. I can't like claim this idea, but whoever said it first, I was like, that, yes, that please.
How about you, Nat? Do you have any ideas of things that you'd
I
like to
agree
see?
with everyone. I was thinking about this being my first wipe, and this is actually the first time that I got Kappa. And what happened to me was, okay, the moment I got Kappa, I felt empty. I was like, okay, and now what? What am I supposed to do now? Other than running around, killing people, getting gear, getting items that I don't need because I don't have any kind of quest. Just by what? Making money? That was my only purpose, making money, keep killing people. So yes, we need some other purpose other than Kappa. Like, let's say someone, sometime they suggested the same quest that we have for Killa, to kill him 100 times you get a tracksuit. Okay, with Sturman, everyone wants Sturman's
His
jacket.
jacket. Yeah.
Yeah, things like that. I mean, but to actually to give the players some purpose, some meaning, not only running around. That's why the maps are empty, like Miss Trash was saying,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
people do not have quests. And if you don't like woods, which I hated, I didn't go woods except if I
Same.
had to do some kind of quest. So
Yeah.
if you don't like a map, you won't go there. And what I loved about Kappa was that it made me go to every single map and to know different spots, to know the actual extracts. And well, then after I got Kappa, I got the Sherpa tag. And that was cool for me because I was helping new people. And I'm like, oh, we're doing quests again. Okay, what do you have to do? And let's go. And that was a way that I found to keep on playing the game and keep on having fun. To actually have something to do. Okay, we need to go this, we need to grab that, we need to find this other thing. And once you don't have quests anymore, what do you do?
Yeah. No, that's
Well,
so
that's just it. Like that's what that's literally, in my opinion, that's the problem in the game. If there's one problem you can isolate, is that people get bored and they have to get creative. Whether they're coming up with like remember like Lupo and Landmark, they all came up with these hardcore challenges and
yeah,
stuff.
like the snowball challenge and
Yeah, like I literally can't imagine being a developer and seeing people do this and not catching on and making my own system in the game. Like I mean, if your top content creators are doing something like this, I imagine not picking up on that and being like, hey, maybe we should come up with something similar to this. You know what? Do you know, BSG? But I just think it's so obvious that you got to add more stuff to prevent people from getting bored and going, hey, why should I stay here? Why should I stay on this game? I got Kappa. I'm done. I killed some people. What now? I just don't get it. It's mind-boggling to me.
do you have any other ideas?
Not only that, they have to rework the quests because once you get
Yeah.
Kappa, I know that the next wipe I'll get it even sooner because I know what to do. I know where
You
to
will.
go. I know
You-
what quests I need
yes.
to rush. So easy.
Right. Like, yeah, you could change them around. You could even have the same quest but change the maps and stuff, so you don't even know what to. You don't have to totally rework them, but maybe change them up. Three sniper kills, Tarkov shooter part 8 on woods. Well, why not make it reserve, or somewhere else? You know, for sure. I think I have some ideas. We'll see if you guys like these or not. I would like to see like one weekend a month be like a special weekend. You know, like sometimes at the end of the wipe they do like raiders all over the map. Why not like do a weekend, like in not early wipe, but later in the wipe when everybody already has a lot of gear? Just say this weekend on factory, it's raider. The raiders have taken over factory
Events.
this weekend.
Yep, events. That's something that a lot of people have
events on
requested.
a weekend event or a 3-day weekend event or something. Do events in the game. I would also like to see more bosses that rotate on the map, so you don't know what you're gonna get. This is a World of Warcraft thing. They used to have world bosses, and they would spawn in different areas, and you'd have multiple world bosses. Well, why don't you have? Yeah, you have Gluhar on reserve, but like have a couple other different bosses, and it could rotate, and they all play a little bit differently, so you don't know who you're gonna get. You're like, oh, I think there's a boss here. I see some guards, but then it's like the one guy that is kitted out like Killa but he's on reserve and his name's not Killa. It's a different thing, but then he just like rushes you and he's like a tank, or you have like a sniper boss or whatever it is. Like whatever it is, bosses that have different mechanics that can rotate on the map. And I would like to see it at a certain point. you know, maybe there's always a boss on the map, but you never know what you're gonna get. I think something like that
why
would be
doesn't
cool.
why doesn't Sanitar show up to labs? Like that'd be so sick, dude. That'd be so
Right.
sick if
So I
Sanitar
think-
showed up to labs.
I think I think they're all great ideas. I would love to see like Sanatoran Labs, Glue Card, Woods, and stuff. I would, but just think about like Killa and like how often all these bosses like bug out on their own maps. Like
Yeah.
they would all. It's easy for us to just be like, why don't they do this? Well,
Right.
they would have to like honestly code it and like fucking make it work for every single one of the maps in that rotation. I think it would be a.
But they don't have to
ton of
rotate.
work.
They don't have to rotate the bosses to different maps. They can maybe just have somebody create more bosses that have a home map. So maybe there's a rotation of 3 different bosses on, say, reserve. So
I mean, I like it, but like, dude, that's a lot of. You got to like create that character and their loot pool and like their guards and their behavior and everything. And it's like,
I mean,
all
of the guards are
be a
going to
millionaire,
behave.
but
Right, but I mean, the guards are going to kind of all behave the same way usually, typically. And the base code is going to be the same if you already have somebody on the map as far as spawn rates and everything else. So then you're just coding the behavior. I mean, I agree. It would take some time. But I'm going to meme this here, but like we heard about Streets last year and they announced that we're not going to get it till maybe if we're lucky at the end of the year. Which it's whatever. It's a huge map. I get it's a huge project. Making a couple new bosses seemed like a much smaller project than making a giant map that we're not going to see for a while. That's just how I kind of feel about it. I would like to see just some more variety and give people something more to do, for sure. I also thought about some other things, and we'll talk about those later. They kind of go along the same lines of, like you guys said, like, give us other quests for the other bosses to get an in-game item. You know, as far as that stuff's concerned. How about, let's open this up to chat. Chat, do you guys have any ideas? What do we got? Let me think through here.
Oh, they got ideas. They want therapists on Shoreline.
Therapist on Shoreline.
Therapist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've just seen comments like stability fixes first and foremost before any bosses or content.
That's what
Just
I
things
was
like
gonna
that.
kind of
I
go
said
off of what Atlas was saying real fast. Just
Yeah.
like not like a self plug into the clip that you know exactly which one I'm talking about when I say this, Dad Life. But Bluehar sometimes kid doesn't even shoot his gun at you.
Yeah.
And will let you shoot a DVL 5 times point blank and miss.
Yeah,
okay.
And they all do that. And
Good
that's
clip, by the way.
that's
Thank you.
I feel like that's an overall AI coding because even some of the regular scouts see that. I've like walked right up to them and they're like looking the other direction, like, and then there's other times I'm 100 meters away and all of a sudden they like 180 on me and shoot me in the face with a shotgun from 100 meters away. So like, I think it's an AI thing.
Scavs in general, I feel so like raiders. I mean, I understand when raiders are very aim body, they're raiders, like duh. But I feel like shotgun scavs and things like that shouldn't be aiming directly at your head across the map at 360 no scoping you the way that they do, especially the way they did at the beginning of this wipe. Because the beginning of this wipe, I was literally on a 16 death streak raid, like of just 16 raids back to back of shotgun scavs, not players, not anything else.
Yeah.
It was literally just shotgun scavs.
Yeah.
That I almost wish that they would like code these scavs to aim at your stomach and nothing else. Like if they're going to shoot you, they're going to shoot you center mass. Like because I don't know why they are as broken as they are. I can't code. I don't know how to fix that. I can't say that on my own, but like they need instant headshot like needs to be addressed in some way, shape, or form.
I mean, maybe they could enlist some of those people that write those small programs that allow people to only aim head eyes and be like, hey, maybe you could help us write one that doesn't aim head eyes.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Center mass shot.
Tarkov reporter said, heard there's going to be a free labs weekend. I saw something about that. I saw Clean mention something about that as like an idea as well, and I don't know if that's gonna if they went into that.
Well, a lot of us thought it was going to be this past weekend. A lot of people, like there were a lot of streamers and a lot of us all saying, "Hey, we were going to have a free labs weekend." We were all under that impression, but it never happened. But
Yeah. Raiders are easy. Raiders sometimes are easy, and sometimes raiders are crazy for sure.
Yeah. okay, so that is a different. That goes back into bugs. There's 3 different raiders that are broken. So, well, there actually might be 4. The BP raider. So if he's at an AK, what is it? The 103 or the one of them? That's not the 103, but anyways, the BP, the BT, the PS, and the SA58 with M80. All 4 of those are 100% broken. They double and triple pin some of them for no reason. Never. And it's been like that for months, and it's still to this day not fixed. So you're not gonna, and it's not just on labs. You'll have it on reserve too sometimes.
Right.
Totally broken.
I
We
mean,
don't know why. It's still here.
Can we talk about the M1A raiders that spawn with M61 though? Because there's a couple of those.
Can we just talk? Oh well, yeah. So on reserve, also not the faction raiders, but the actual guards with the M1A. You talking about that? Those are the same. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's literally the same bug. I mean, we don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's I mean, I don't mind the guards. I mean, they're protecting something. Like they should be way more challenging.
Well, they shouldn't be broken though, right?
Well, they shouldn't be broken. Hey, sometimes even I can kill them, and I'm a boomer.
Oh no! I'm saying I'm pretty sure. No. My point is, I'm pretty sure it's a bug. I don't think this is like design.
Design
I don't
thing,
think.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think they designed this. I think it's a bug.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I think, but I will say to Miss Trash's point, if they improved the actual mechanics of the AI raiders and made them a little smarter, I think that would be very interesting.
Yeah.
Definitely watch like raiders instead of like when you run into drop down building or tech building, whatever you call it. I can't even remember what the sign is on the outside, but on the reserve map, you know what I'm talking about. When you rush in a drop down and all of the raiders are on the right side of the stairs and there's like 1 per floor and they just wait for you to come up and mow them down. Like that's nice because I mean, yes, you're killing raiders and you get to farm them and loot them, cool and all. But watching like Gluehard just camping out up top, not doing anything, especially when like 1 or 2, 3, 4 of his raiders are dead right below him, you'd think that they would, scatter, they'd move, they'd push, they do something. But instead, like we have the moments, even like when they were in the marked building, in my Gluehard clip, where he gets stuck behind the bed and he can't pull his gun out and shoot, things like that, where they just kind of camp out in certain areas. I'd like to see them almost like to the point that you see a raider and you're starting to wonder if it's also a player. But it also and I feel like that would also help with a lot of the bug fixes, because the bugs that are really associated with a lot of the raiders that I run into are because they're supposed to camp out in these areas until you aggro them directly. But in that case, you start running into more and more bugs because now they're just waiting for you, stuck in a spot that they can't shoot you. Like now, where's the fun in hunting him down in that?
And I can see the design issue in that. Like that's why this is a very complex issue, because they can't, for instance, like get the AI to walk out. Like, okay, so let's say on reserve they spawn in the barracks buildings, and let's say they create a mechanic where they walk out in the open. Like people will just sit on dome and just pick them off easily. Yeah. That's why I will admit, like to the point of people who like stand for BSG, I get that it's challenging. But what all me and Miss Trash are trying to say is just like make them just a little more dynamic, to where it's not just, what's the saying, like shooting fish out of a barrel? Because it can be sometimes. It can be so easy that it's almost obnoxious.
Yeah, I think it's almost.
Go ahead, Dad. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say if it's not, they're not shooting fish in a barrel, it feels almost impossible to kill them. I feel like it's one or the other. There's no middle ground.
It's like this. They're stupid like this, but then they compensate with the insane aimbot and you're dead. Like, so it's like you have to kill them while they're being goofy, otherwise they insta kill you. That's how they compensate. But I would agree with Carson, make it more realistic. Maybe they're checking a corner, maybe they're like looting a little bit, talking to Gluecar, having a cigarette. I don't know, but it feels really goofy, and they all walk like a robots still. It's kind of silly.
Yeah, when you're like in a door frame and then like 3 of them all flank in, like they know where you are, but they all strafe in, and you just like mow them down in a big pot. Yeah, no, for sure. I think the reserve ones probably have a little bit more of that problem as well. I mean, hey, they're not good at leaning and checking corners, but they are good at going prone and shooting you in the face. Let's get that one out of the way. All right, so. All right, I think we've established that we'd like to see better raiders and a little bit better boss AI, or at least get that cleaned up. I want to
And
know.
regular has more body.
Yeah, what are some things you guys have been finding yourself? What have you enjoyed this wipe? Like, what are some what maps are you vibing with? And like what are some things that you've been doing? Because I know a lot of us, we talked about it, like the snowball challenge and stuff. We've all been trying to do some little different things and maybe memeing a little bit. But what's some fun things you guys have been doing?
Shoreline.
I've been
Shoreline's a lot better than last wipe, in my opinion. And especially before they nerfed it. They nerfed Shoreline, like, I want to say, like, 3 or 4 weeks after wipe when everybody was looking for the Letties and then you couldn't find one. But, like, honestly, Shoreline right now is so much fun. I don't know, like, why people aren't going there, because it's, a combination of PvP and it's a combination of loot, and I think it's a really, really good map right now.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that. I just want to say, I think it's because Shoreline is just ugly, dude. It's dark. It's all the
Yeah.
same 2 colors. Like, you can go to interchange, it's bright and it's dark, and then it's blue and red, and same thing for like reserve. It's kind of different. You're outside, but you have that different effect. Shoreline to me just kind of all blends together, even
Yeah.
if you're at resort or not. And
That makes
I
sense.
think that's what a big thing is with it. So that's all I'm
Yeah.
gonna say.
I have
There-
the
I'm
It's
bad
not
at
a-
Shoreline though, so
I was gonna say I have the complete opposite opinion where I don't like Shoreline. I think Shoreline beginning of the wipe was a lot more fun, because a lot of people were going for all of the loot. But I feel like I've noticed that the loot seems to have been nerfed a little bit. I don't know if that's for sure. If that's just like I've just been having the worst luck, but it's really gotten a lot of the PvP out. And the only thing I really enjoy about Shoreline is Resort, because that's where the PvP is. The rest of the map is so wide open that if you're not inside Resort, you're probably gonna get sniped at from someone doing Shooterborn. You'll never see them because they're doing Shooterborn. They're at 200 meters out and stuff. So that is the
Yeah.
only thing that I haven't liked about Shoreline. However, I would say that I ran it a lot in the beginning of the wipe. So I definitely did. I have enjoyed Shoreline this wipe. The last couple weeks, I haven't touched it at all. I can't remember the last time I actually went to Shoreline with it in the last couple weeks.
Just before we go, I like what Outlaw said, and I like this as well. I like the new bleed mechanics and the blood trails.
Same.
I like the new
same.
bleed, but I don't think I've ever used blood trails to find somebody. I may have
Whoa.
found some like
I
one
love
Gino,
it.
I'll tell
but-
you a story that just happened to us recently. Me and Opie Winston, we were playing in labs. We ran into a 2-man at green. We killed one and we couldn't find the other guy. I'm dead serious. We tracked his blood trail all the way to the elevator at O. He extracted because he probably didn't bring heavy bleed with anything to stop the bleed. I'm dead. And it's just by strange coincidence. It just happened yesterday. And I guess actually that's a good point. This wipe's been going on for a while, and it's the first time I just used it, Gino. So there you go. It is pretty.
yeah. I was gonna
lackluster.
say I've done it like twice. That's it.
Yeah.
It's just rare, very
and
rare.
it's usually like a hatchling.
I've said this with light bleeds. They should add like little drops of blood. I think that's what they should do. Light bleeds should like have a little bit of a trail compared to the heavy bleeds. It would be harder to spot, but I think it would be something that would be pretty easy to implement. But also like, Timmies can't run off, 3 miles down the road on customs when they're light bleeding. You know what I'm saying? So I think it should have a little bit of blood, like, little droplets or something.
I think so too. And like it might be easier to spot if you have like really high perception, right?
Yeah.
We have like max perception. You can see the blood. You know what? One of the things is like when you shoot that guy and you're like, did I kill him or did I not? Sometimes I've used blood trails for that, especially like. I used this the other day, is around dorms, so there's all the bushes on car side. And I ran into a 4-man that were all running KS-23s, or 3 of them were. And it was like, how many are there? And it was like, follow the blood trail. Oh, there's a dead one. There's a dead one. Oh no, there's another one rustling in a bush right there. But I did use the blood trails. I use it more for like, where did I kill somebody and where did they end up dying half the time when I like maim them and they go to run into a bush and then I end up like just spraying a bush and I'm like, and you're fighting 2 or 3 people. I use the blood trails to track it back to go loot people more often than like tracking somebody down because they ran away. But I still like the fact that that's in the game. It's definitely a cool feature for sure.
I definitely haven't used it to actually find other players, but we totally use them when we're rolling up on like new gas on customs, going like, all right, this is a crime scene. There's blood everywhere. What happened here? You know, like that's the extent of the blood splatter for me most of the time. It's never to like actually find someone. But I have seen it work out, like where like if I'm like in reserve and I'm like, wait, there's a heavy bleed right there, so that we like know to kind of slow down our push down into the bunkers and stuff.
They need
Yeah.
to add snow.
I've been
So
saying I said that
good.
a lot
Snow.
too. I would
would be
love
so
I would
nice.
love a, give me Lighthouse better have snow on it when it comes out at the end of the summer or whenever it comes out. Give me a snowy lighthouse, little
Or just
snowy
seasonal,
ocean view.
or literally make it seasonal. Like I
Yeah,
don't know.
that
I,
is
don't- I
seasonal,
mean, I
exactly.
know we're asking a lot because they can't even get streets out. But hey, it would be a cool
Oh.
feature.
People told
Yeah.
me they want animals like bears. I was like, dude, have you seen Caleb running through like glitching through walls and stuff? There's
Oh
no
my
way. I
God.
want
Can you
that.
imagine
You
a big
know,
old
like-
grizzly coming at you? Oh my
Yeah,
god, that would
no
be
way.
Barrel
that
through
would be
walls.
crazy.
Yeah.
That would actually be a pretty troll event though.
Oh,
Like animal, like actual bear. Hey, now we have scavs. Now we have bears, and there's literally bears on the map. Could you imagine? Just polar bears, grizzly bears running around, friendly bears. I don't know, bear mount. Oh wait, that's wild. Sorry.
Love
I will
Before we
say.
move on,
Oh no, you
oh,
go
go
first.
ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, going back to 2 points, just really fast, kind of to like bring it back into this. I know that adding a lot of things, obviously, like we're coming from the perspective of like, oh, I would love to see this, I'd love to see this, but like we don't know how the codes work for that. We don't know how to even clean up some of the messes that are happening right now. But I will say for events that I was saying earlier, kind of bringing in the WoW thing. WoW does see like you know the holiday events and stuff like that, where you can have like a couple different gear. Like you know, it's like Twitch Rivals. We have like purple masks. Maybe for Valentine's Day we get a bright red one or something like that. You know, like just stuff that's just kind of like when you're like the seasonal thing where you want to unlock new things to bring people back in that way. But then also with the raider idea that we're talking about earlier. My thing with Killa is I hate that he doesn't have his own raiders. And I was talking to somebody about this, how we thought it would be really cool if instead of Killa just kind of waiting in a corner for you to come in, he waits until you unlock Kiba. And then when you start setting off alarms, it's Killa and raiders that start sprinting into the mall, like kind of thing like that. But they have to, first fix where they have the bugs. But like just imagine getting like bomb rushed by Killa and his guards. Like that would be terrifying. And now you're stuck inside Kiba because of like Killa,
Yeah.
and I don't know,
Yeah.
just stuff like that. Just,
You'd have
if
to
there was
buff
other
loot
things,
Kiba.
yeah, if there was things like that, it might also, especially if they get like, it might make people want to work together a little bit more, or make running as a group a little bit more rewarding. I mean, how many people here like to run in a group of 2, 3? Who likes to run in groups of 3 or more people in a squad?
I like 3 max typically.
I'm a solo gamer. For rivals, that was the last time I played trios in like I don't know, a year and a half. So I haven't played trios outside of that. Besides maybe community day.
Trios
Yeah.
is like my max typically.
I
Because
know
even those
Atlas,
can get really complicated.
Atlas is, unless it's a scav army, it's trios probably max. Usually duos or solo gamer, right? Same thing with Carson. Carson, I believe, solo.
Yeah, I'm mainly solo.
Yeah.
Ideally.
I think once you become a more experienced player, like you feel like you don't need to. It's always good to lean on teammates, but you feel more comfortable playing solo. And there's also like this burden off your shoulders of like, if you hear anything,
You
it's
just shoot
instant.
it.
Like, oh, there's a bad guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to have a conversation for like 14 minutes about was that you or was it?
Wait.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, like-
rough, man.
And I don't know. And then you don't have to share the loot. So.
Yeah, then
True.
you get to min max on what you want to bring out. We all know Atlas loves that. If you guys know Atlas is the min max machine. It's like 12. He'll kill everything on the map and then run around for the next 20 minutes on reserve trying to figure out what's going to be the most amount of money. We're like, dude, you gotta
Die to
watch
the
out for the
player
player
scav,
scavs.
baby.
Then the player scavs come. Oh my goodness. I and this is one of those things that Jelly mentioned earlier, kind of something. And this could be a cool thing to put in the game, like really hard tasks to craft items, like cloaks or outfits or something like that you could do after your kappa that you could unlock through like the traders. Like he said, like a bearskin cloak or something from something like that from like Jaeger that's like really rustic looking, like you had to run around in the woods and do some tasks, but it would have to be like some really rare item, so you had to really like search for it, or it'd have to be like almost like a mini Kappa chain in itself to be able to get like accrue items where you'd get sub items to make 10 sub items to make this outfit or whatever at the end of the day. I think something like that could be cool.
But that just takes me back to like that takes me back to I think what a lot of people are going through right now is like what does this game need now? Right?
What does the game need now? We all know
Right.
what the game needs now.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. And I think that's why even I think kind of what like Atlas was talking about, like some of the things that we're talking about that we think would make the game more enjoyable, quote unquote, things to add at the same time, we have all these problems we need to fix. There's a lot of things in this. Well, not we, I'm not a part of BSG. They need to fix. And so it's a real challenge to ask BSG, hey, like, I mean, for me, even when I think about it, like to ask like, hey, can you add this? This would make the game better. This would make the game fun. But at the same time you go, hey, we got desync problems. Your game is still on Unity. Like all these issues that we have. And it's like, well, we can only do so much when there's a lot of things that are already in the game that just need to be optimized. There's a lot that needs to be optimized.
Well, okay. But I mean, so they are producing more content. They're working on, at least we know of, they're working on 2 maps at once right now, right? They're working on Lighthouse and Streets.
And factory expansion, but
and factory expansions. They're working on 3 different maps right now. How does that make you guys feel, knowing that they're working on 3 maps and there's quality of life things? I mean, let's be honest. Server things, I mean, might be out of their control. They don't own the servers. Okay, but there could be coding issues that make things more efficient.
It's a netcode issue. Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think it's very okay. I think to be very straightforward, I think the reason why Streets isn't coming out is because there is, if you listen to his recent podcast that he did that was on Pestly's channel, or Nikita, when I say him, to me it's very evident that Streets is being held back behind Unity 2019. There is some feature in 2019 Unity that they need to utilize to get Streets the way they want it. That's very obvious. To me, it's just clear as day that until they can transfer from they're 2018 to get to 2019 Unity, they need that before they can do Streets. That's why I think they're backing off to say, hey, Shoreline or Lighthouse doesn't need it. Factory expansion doesn't need it. So there's something going on there. I don't know what that is. I have no clue. But that is a very clear thing happening right there. I don't know if anyone else picked up on that, but that was pretty obvious to me when he was in that podcast.
It happened with Last Wipe too, and people didn't realize. Like, people were thinking that Streets were gonna come with Last Wipe, and everybody was like, halfway through Last Wipe, everybody was like, oh my god, like this game is stale like they're doing right now, but wipe it, and they kind of like gave into it and kind of rush things and rush content, and then they didn't release Streets with Last Wipe, which they they were planning, or this wipe, or however. And it's one of those things where they're delaying this, and people aren't seeing that. They're delaying these wipes and this content so they have more time to work on Streets, and that's what people aren't seeing.
I will also say this, and we're kind of guilty of this right now, but like I think people get bored with the game, and you look at other games. Let's compare the game aspect of a lot of games right now. We've become spoiled from games like Fortnite and Apex, and granted they're different games, but people have become into that thing where like every day I want a new set of skins, or every 3 days I want a new set of skins, or every 3 months I want a map to be totally redone. And I think people they've been spoiled by some of those companies where it's like, bam, we're gonna do an overhaul on this map. And I think like Fortnite and probably Apex are the ones that the two companies that are doing it pretty well. That are like, hey, we're gonna give you something totally different to look at and play for the next whatever it is, 3 to 6 months. And we don't get that with the Tarkov wipe. And I think that people are like, I want a new map. I want a new map. It's like, they want like that big content crush because that's what other games are doing. And granted, they don't stop to think that EA is an enormous company. Like Fortnite has, I bet they have hundreds of devs working on that game, is where there's a handful of devs working at Battlestate.
Well, let's be real careful here, though. Fortnite has a much better financial like scheme.
Oh yeah, no, they do.
PSP.
They're obviously that's one of the things they can afford to hire all those people with the in-game transactions for sure. And they don't want to do that in Tarkov, so they do non-EOD account sales every 6 weeks, and then we have a new influx of fantastic RGB gamers after each one. But that being said, maybe there's things that they could do in Tarkov that wouldn't affect gameplay, that aren't where maybe they could do something like that in Tarkov. Would you guys be open to seeing something like that?
Are you talking like
what
in-game
if they did like
transactions?
what if you bought like a voice pack or something like that?
Yes. Well, somebody said that they should add a battle pass in Tarkov, and I shut them down real quick because that is completely like the opposite direction that I want it to go.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. There's not much they can honestly do when it comes to in-game transactions without completely breaking the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, they could do voice packs, maybe clothing, but other than that, there's nothing much they can do besides adding skins, and then everybody's complaining, right? So it's one of those things. I don't think they can add much.
Yeah. I mean, they talked about adding more things for character models and stuff in the future. Maybe they do that as microtransactions, which, again, according to their thing, EOD is exempt from all that. You get everything, right? Because that was the big thing about EOD.
Yeah.
But other people that aren't EOD, maybe that would be things that they would have to open their wallet for. But I mean, yeah, it is a tough thing because you don't want to do anything that's going to break the game. But I want a yellow.
Keep money out of it,
raid
man.
suit.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Keep money out. Those games suck, dude.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with Black Desert Online. I was. Then they started making it pay to win, and it fucking broke my heart, dude. Like, I don't want that to happen to Tarkov. Like, same thing.
And that's the big thing is I think if you introduce a couple, and this is what's going to happen that we're not going to like, because if the company makes a bunch of money at something, let's be honest, human nature is going to be like, hey, we introduced that mohawk in game, which by the way, we need a mohawk in game.
Yeah.
But that mohawk that costs $5, we made a lot of money on that. Well, that's we're gonna bust out the mullet next.
Yes.
Yeah, the mullet, and then it's gonna be like, wow, yeah, man, what if we sold a jacket? Because it's like, oh, look at everybody loves the jacket. And as much as we complain about it, who here, if they saw if they were like, sick jacket, we'd be like, kind of want it. There's a
they should just make that
as a part of the
request. That should be what.
I agree.
For it.
And it's not just a cap on hideouts. It's the fucking mullet, bro.
The budget situation. They don't have any sort of renewable income except for selling accounts.
Yeah,
is where every other game either charges monthly subscription fees or has in-game transactions. Every really successful game you can think of now, tell me that is a renewable world type game where you're playing on a world map that doesn't have some sort of renewable source of income. Sure, you buy The Witcher, you play through The Witcher, you can play through it 50 times, but it's the same game.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're going to maybe sell you an expansion or they're going to sell you the next game. What's a game that exists that doesn't have a subscription service or in-game transactions? Because, I mean, World of Warcraft, ESO, those all have subscription services, right?
Yeah.
So that's how those companies make a lot of money, so they can grow their development team, offer more content to people. Merch license, but they're really bad at the merch licensing. One Mouse. I mean, that's the one thing is like I know a lot of people that have been like, "Hey, I've tried to buy some Battlestate merch," and then they're like, I know some people that are like, "Well, I waited a month, I emailed them, and they just refunded me and canceled my order." I mean, that could be something they could work on, though. Sure.
Yeah. I could see it as like it's you can buy certain skins and stuff like that. Like I can see that, but I think that it shouldn't be one of those things like okay, WoW is a really good example of this. If you got Mists of Pandaria, like the collector's edition, there's a certain mount that you could get. And the only people that had that mount were the people that bought the collector's edition of the game, which is like buying like EOD, right? For that expansion. And then 2 expansions later, offered it on the Battle.net store, and now everyone can have that mount if they pay $25. So everyone who bought that expansion, they no longer have that exclusivity of they have this mount, and everyone else does because they bought it like 2 days ago for cheaper than when I had to buy the collector's edition of the expansion kind of thing. Like if you're going to add things like that, then they have to make sure that they really stick with that loyalty of like, okay, so if I add this pack of skins, but also like, if I give you this task where you can unlock a certain weapon or a certain like Sturman's jacket or things like that, that you can't overlap the two. You can't just offer it like 2 wipes later to buy, because then everybody who actually had to put in the effort for it would what, like they have to have like a really good balance to that. And I think that's where lots of games start to really get touchy about it. Like I love WoW. I was literally playing WoW right before this podcast, but I also absolutely can't stand the amount that the game milks money out of you. And so I think that if they start adding too much of that, it's gonna turn into like a Call of Duty kind of game. And I don't play Call of Duty anymore. Like I got tired of that stuff. I lost a lot of like it's just I would lose respect for the game in that aspect. And that's also a personal opinion thing, like, I mean, obviously, they got to do what they got to do to make money. And I get that, like maybe renewable, like you were saying, the renewable income and stuff like that. But if they start adding too much of that stuff, it's not as fun for me anymore. Cause then you see everybody rocking these skins and it's like, well,
Right.
it's cause I have a bigger bank account. It's not cause I'm actually any good at the game.
Right.
Like even EOD, I explain that to people. I'm like, I don't see EOD as like a pay to win kind of thing. Like, does it make tasking easier because you have all of that inventory space? Absolutely. You start off with gear every wipe. It's really, really nice. But how much gear you have in your stash doesn't mean doesn't equal good player, because it's a very much so game. It's a skill based game. It's not necessarily like, okay, like I have a lot of gear in my stash. I'm doggo at this game. Like I can say that I'm freaking doggo at this game. Like just because I have EOD doesn't mean that everybody who's not EOD is like not going to be as good as me. Like it's not. They did a really good job of making it not pay to win. And if they started making this game pay to win, I wouldn't play. Like I can't. It's bad taste in my mouth. Sorry for the rant.
No, that's good.
No,
I mean,
think
I
you're,
agree.
I think you're on the money right there, because like I think the guys like Atlas and Gino and many people like them have made it very clear, and I think Voodoo was in the chat. Like any type of microtransactions are going to make a lot of people uncomfortable,
Yeah.
and
I think
I don't think it goes that way anyways.
yeah.
From my understanding, the way I guess Clean and Nikita have a very strong relationship, and based on what he says, they are still on board with the indie, mentality, despite the growth that they seek, and and they won't go that route. So I hope, at least.
I think
Yeah.
I just want to say, like, and I love and hate, like we all do, but I think BSG makes more money than a lot of people think. I'm just gonna say it out because no one really knows how many accounts are purchased. Okay, we don't freaking know, and
Yeah.
they say like, oh yeah, like by the way, guys, like like 7,000 million hackers were banned last week, and then they buy another account, and like you get random tweets, but you don't see the whole picture of what's really happening. So
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know how they allocate it. I don't know how much they get paid. I don't know if they even
I
but
will.
I understand. Like I was like when you were talking about it, I was like, he's right though. They kind of do need some sustainable income.
Mhm.
Maybe that's what they're like running into a wall for. I don't know, but
Well,
then
it doesn't help that they're spent like no hate. I love the raid series, but there's got to be a lot of money invested there.
Yeah.
That was pretty good
Yeah.
production.
Yeah.
That was actors had to be paid there probably. All the filming and stuff like that, right? Like there has to be money in that they can probably set aside for paying more people, which is what you guys are talking about. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, the
maybe
theory.
revenue. I don't know.
Yeah, the theory, and there's a lot of theories behind cheaters, and I don't want to get into them too much. But like what Voodoo said, BSG is using cheaters to their advantage. I mean that might quite possibly be the case. I mean that might be why we don't have to pay a subscription every month because there's somebody getting their account banned 3 times and then they just buy another one. I don't know. I mean, but I just from a business aspect, when you compare what Battlestate does to other games, a lot of other games just have a renewable income source, and that's all I was really trying to establish is we know they have a smaller team of people. If they were going to expand that team to fix a lot of these things and I'm sure they want to fix them too. They want server stability, and they would love to get things upgraded a lot faster too. But how does that happen? I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of things happen. If you have a bigger team, you're going to get more done. And that's kind of just where I was trying to get at. And again, like Atlas said, we really don't know what their financial situation looks like. And Gino said they did do the raid series. So where is that happy medium for them? We don't know. It's just like one of those like talking points that I wanted to bring up is, what if they had more money? Could they make things happen faster? Could they fix some of these things? And then on the turning point is look at how much money Call of Duty has and look at the cheater problems that they have in their game. So money doesn't fix everything.
I have a question for you. This is like, answer this how you can. But do you think it is by any chance, just tell me, a symbiotic relationship of certain streaming services that require a VPN to watch in a different country? Do you think that's a symbiotic relationship, or do we all just kind of sit back and just go, no, this is all happenstance and these aren't, working together in any form or fashion? I mean, there's so many. I mean, I can name off a ton. There's different types of sports programs. There's different types of whether it's like movies. If you get a VPN, you can go and access on another country, because that's what's happening with cheating. Yeah. People are buying $17 accounts from Russia, and they're cheating on those accounts. It's that simple.
I mean, it's a problem in all game platforms right now.
Oh yeah.
Like ping abusers in Call of Duty, they'll get a peak. They'll get a VP. They'll play on a VPN, and they'll play on like servers where there's a smaller pool with quote unquote less talented players. So when they're and there's content creators that do this, and they go onto those low pop servers or low talent servers, and they go and they're like, yo, I busted out 30 kills in this one Call of Duty match, because it's content for them. And because is it cheating? Not necessarily, but being on the VPN allows them to play on Korean servers or Australian servers or whatever. So I mean, people push that thing and go to talk about the VPNs. Yeah, VPNs allow people to do a lot of things they wouldn't normally be able to do, and it definitely can push some things. Voodoo, ping abusers. Yep.
Yeah, but can you imagine being some of these broadcasting some of these streaming services and realizing that people are just accessing your content because they use a VPN, and just to think that like, no, there's like, I mean, it's just really hard for me to believe, because we all know how aggressive companies can get in litigation. Like there's literally billions of dollars spent on litigation every year over business fraud, over so many things, over land, over leases. And we just all look at VPNs to use streaming services as like, no, like NordVPN, no, there's no connection between them and Netflix or whoever. No. Yeah. I find that so hard to believe, but the thing is, these things are so nitty gritty. People go, well, you can't prove anything. Well, imagine trying to prove that. Can you imagine actually trying to gather the evidence to prove this? Like who are you going to go?
Right.
Where are you going to go? You're going to contact some of these IPS, some of these different companies, and start like, what are you going to do? Like, so that's my point, that these things are very complex. I'm not here to prove anything. I'm just here to just remind you there's always something going on behind the door that you just don't know. And we can play the game where we take everything for face value. That's fine. I'm cool with that. I'm still playing the game tomorrow.
Right.
I'm just saying it's probably a duck. That's it.
Yeah. I like that. We're still playing the game tomorrow, but there's just something fishy going on, and we just have to accept that fact. Like, what was it? Like when during the Punisher tournament, and I really like this when Pesley said, it's Tarkov's an imperfect game, but it's our imperfect game, right? Mm-hmm. Like, we know that it comes with its problems, but we still love to play it anyway because there's no other game like it, right? So
yeah, we love the game. Yeah, I mean, it's just straight up.
No.
We love the
game.
And
I think sometimes people get frustrated because we know how much better the game could be, right? We're like, man, imagine if there wasn't a server issue, or imagine if there was just a little bit more content, like, or if there was a little bit more, the player base. Like there was, when we get into the late wipe, I go on dead servers now. And I think one of the things that I think we might all do this, we all probably pick servers, limit to 3 or 4 for a lot of us here. I know I limit myself to, I pick like three servers, and sometimes I change those. But I feel like the later on we go into wipe, there should either be less servers for me to pick from, or I should just start doing auto, because it does feel like I'll go in a server and I won't see anybody in reserve. I'll just run through the whole thing. It's great. I get some loot. But I feel like that's, even if there's less people playing, I don't think that I go into servers and they just feel like a ghost town sometimes, and then other ones feel great. Like I had some last night, felt fantastic. PvP was great. Went to customs, fantastic PvP. Did I die? Of course I did. But like the PvP felt good. There was players on the map, and then there's just other times it's just like I feel bad as a content creator, and I'm like, hey guys, you enjoying watching me play Loot Simulator? Let me show you where all the cool loot spots are, because that's all we're gonna do this for the next 15 minutes. So I don't know what the answer is, and I wish it was maybe a little bit more transparent, where they're just like, hey, just open your servers to auto, they all are whatever, and it's gonna fill servers with players and just fill them up. Because when I play on Saturday mornings, and let me tell you, the servers can be quiet. I like sniping on Saturday mornings because there is not 5-man squads everywhere.
But you gotta remember. But you gotta remember, it was I think it was the wipe event. I think it was the wipe event near the end of 2019 or beginning of 2020. We had like sometimes 10, 12-minute queues. It was insane. Mm-hmm. And that lasted for several months on and off. It was really weird, but it all started with that first big wipe event, that big one that just set everything off where we are today. And I think BSG eventually went down a path where they changed the queuing to where you could end up queuing in by yourself in just a couple of minutes if no one else queued. I mean, I'm just assuming, right? Because we don't really know how the queuing process is set up. We don't know how it's coded, but it's something like that. And I think that's the biggest complaint for late game, is that they need a more variable system to where when you get further in the wipe, I think like a lot of us, I think most of us would be okay waiting just a minute or two more if it would mean a full server. I'm pretty sure.
100%.
I think that I think there's a thing that I want to mention this, and you guys can agree or disagree. Do you guys? I feel like every time that we get to this point in Tarkov, like before, like a mid wipe or mid to late wipe, I feel like all of a sudden they become like really transparent, and they're like, hey, we got all these cool things coming, guys. And then like before that happens, it's like no transparency on what they're working on. I really feel like it gets to the point where they like the peasants are going to rise up soon and start storming the castle. Let's give them something so they will back off.
I feel like that's a business perspective, though, right? They're thinking business. I'm not saying it's the right way to go about it, but you got to remember Battle State does have to keep players playing the game in which they are, releasing details. And that's why they're not announcing wipe. I think Nikita said himself, right? The reason he doesn't announce wipe is because all of a sudden people are going to stop playing until wipe happens, right? That's why they released that. I don't know why they did it on Christmas, but that's why they did it like that. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I mean, and I don't care about when wipe's coming, but I'm just like, hey guys, we noticed this is something that we're noticing. You guys are noticing. We notice it too, and hey, we're doing something to work on it. Just like that kind of thing, I think might keep people a little bit more positive for the people that it's tough to be positive about, because there's certain times where we all kind of like, why am I playing this? I'm gonna go play.
Well, we get hypercritical because we love the game. At the end of the day,
but I mean, there's
we love this
like,
game.
if we knew something, if they were like, hey, we're working on some deals where we're gonna add some more servers, or we're gonna update servers. It's like when they updated servers, it was like we hadn't heard anything, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, by the way, guys, next week we're updating servers, and it's like, well, they've been like this for a while. How long have you made this plan? I'm sure they didn't just one week go, all right, enough is enough. I guess we'll upgrade the servers now. Like they had to have known for a while. It's just those little things like, hey guys, quality of life update. Hey, just so you guys know, we're working on this. I would like to see that, and I'm not saying that all game developers are good with that. I would say the best ones are League of Legends and Blizzard. They're pretty good about saying they're going to work on stuff. I think all other game developers are lackluster with transparency. It would be something I would love to see a little bit more of, just like even a monthly update from them. Even if it doesn't have to be a podcast, doesn't have to be anything. Just be like, hey, they can have a community manager be like, hey, these are some things we've seen on the forums, and this is what we're working on. That would be cool for me.
I have a question for Papanati, since she's like a newer gamer. What if there was something that I don't know, I think a way to put this, like for a newer player in the current state, because like when we joined, the meta was very slow paced, like the game style was like really slow. Is there something that you would have liked to have learned about the game, like when you first started playing, that would have helped you a little bit better? Like kind of, I guess you could say, because this is my thing. If you were to like describe, if I was to describe to someone what it's like to getting to know this game, imagine an on-ramp onto a highway. You're going onto a highway jam-packed with people that are just flying 90 miles per hour, and you're trying to get on the highway with a Vespa. That's probably the best way I could explain it. It's insane. For a newer player, because people are playing so fast nowadays, people are just absolutely screaming through doorways, just blazing a vector or whatever. Is there any tool that BSG you think could give you as a newer player to be way more comfortable in that first like month of playing the game?
I think there's not. The only thing that I would have loved to know is that Sherpas exist, because people know that Sherpas exist, and that's a huge thing. And that thing about the highway you were mentioning, I'll live that every single day when I'm playing with Billy's. Hey Billy, level 2. Okay, we'll try to go to customs. We might die a lot of times trying to get the fucking pocket watch. But hey, well, it's this moment of the vibe, do not get disappointed. The more you'll die, the less you'll care about dying. And let's go, cheer up. And that's what I need to do. But I don't think there's something other than,
well, I mean, like
people know that.
I don't know. Okay.
I like this idea. Yeah. What if, and I know that this is never going to happen because I'm sure it's going to be so hard, but like Outlaw mentioned, what if they had locked servers for people below level 10, where it was like just people below level 10? Or what if they included, if you're an official Sherpa or below level 10, you have access to these new player servers. And it doesn't even have to be below level 10. It could be like, there's got to be a signal that says this is your first wipe below level 10. And you get to go, like, it's like the tutorial servers that they have. And the only people that have access to it are people below level 10 and Sherpas, official Sherpas. That might be a good way to like kind of
See,
ease you in, but I think logistically
they
it might be
need
really
to
hard.
make the offline race available for multiplayers.
Yeah, and they talked.
For me
They
as a
said they're
Sherpa,
working
that
on
would
that.
be great. Okay, let's go into race. I'm gonna show you the map. I'm gonna show you the extracts. I cannot do that online with people running slicks and vectors and all that kind of stuff. So I just open the wiki, I share my screen, and look, these are the extracts. This and that. We'll try to get there. I don't know if we're gonna make it, But offline raids, multiplayer, that will be great. Just to
Yeah.
play, even to play with your friends. Let's go hunt. Let's go put horde mode. Let's go hunt raiders,
100%.
whatever.
100%. You could you have a bad couple of raids. Hey, let's just play an offline mode. Just,
I think
relax a little bit,
think that's
and then YouTubers could use it. You
Right.
could do funny things with your friends.
yeah.
all
I think that's
kinds
the
of
biggest
test
thing
things.
is that group offline. I think would be the hugest thing, or even give like people access to create their own server, or you could fill your own server with like community night.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, I think that Battlestate should try and do something like that, in my opinion, to where they can fill up like, I don't know, maybe 20-man lab servers. That would be absolutely crazy, but it would be a whole bunch of fun, especially late wipe. They could do
Yeah.
something like this to where like it would keep people around. Like, yo, you want to hop on for, in Counter-Strike, we had something called 10 mans. Well, a whole bunch of 10 different friends would go into a server and like we'd pick teams, pick team captains. If they did that with Tarkov, I believe that they could keep a lot more players around. Like, hey, you haven't hopped on Tarkov in a while. You want to join this 10-man tonight or something like that, right? So, I don't know.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Or you could do like, I mean, that opens up a lot of opportunities for stuff like that. Anybody could host their own like little mini tournament, right? It allows any content creator to host a tournament, or like, if I wanted to say, it's community night, Dad Life versus Gino's community, let's do a little bracket series or something like that. You could do that with offline mode, and I think that would be cool. I think that would attract a lot more people to keep playing the game.
It would also be nice to people to get the possibility of renting a server, a private server.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get a private server to play with my friends or with my community or to host a tournament, whatever.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Another way that they can have to make some money or to get some incomes coming from that.
I don't know. They have to communicate with BSG, but servers are a third party, right? It's not BSG that does
it's third party. I think a lot of them are actually Amazon servers. So they're all owned by Amazon. I agree with Dan a little bit. If you just opened it up to like 5v5 or whatever like that, you could put 10 people on a server. It could create a CS:GO situation, but it's not, because you still have to like know who's who. You still have to have all that communication, and you still don't have a UI and a HUD and all that other stuff. So some things do change with that. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to see it turn into labs and factory all of a sudden become like, arena style maps where you're trying to push from my extract spawn to somebody else's extract spawn. Sure. But I still think that the offline mode, at least getting people in your community, you can go do fun things. Like right now for me, and I know of several of the other people here, do like community night. And like community night like 2 months ago was me helping people do tasks, and now it's just kind of like, who wants to show up and run some raids? Because everyone's either gotten their kappa or they're burnt out. They're like, hey, I hit level 40, I got my traders maxed, let's just go PvP. So the same thing is a lot less people are showing up for it, but the people that do, we have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun, and we do like people bring the meme kits and stuff like that. I have a question. What's your favorite meme kit? Do you guys ever have a memorial, like a good memory of a meme kit that somebody brought you?
The Slick Shredder.
What was that?
There's an actual clip of that. Someone brought me an HK. It was super short, and it had that 100-round mag.
Yep.
And everyone was laughing of it. And I had a 5.5 on it. I killed a guy on interchange wearing a slick. So it's called the Slick Shredder.
The Slick Shredder? I like it.
I saved that preset, and I have it in my stash. I have that gun with me.
That's hilarious. I
Dude,
remember.
Stub HK is fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I like when they bring in the old I like to call them like the sun builds, where they got like 5 flashlights on them.
Yeah.
Those are always good too. Those are terrible because they blind you. They're so bright.
I love those.
It,
You get the
it used to be
like
worse.
a power
Yeah.
mag with them.
I saw I was in Vaughn's stream yesterday and someone put lasers on it, and when you turn the lasers on, they made a smiley face.
I got that a
Oh,
few
I
weeks
like
ago.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, you do
that's
it with
sick.
the SAS chassis on an M4.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is one of the other ones on the AK, the one that like the octagon one. That one's pretty troll too. I couldn't imagine seeing the smiley face on the side of a wall and then dying to it. I would feel terrible. Like the have a nice day build, like I would feel so bad. You know, I built like a super short MPX, had one of those one time with like, you know, the ridiculous scope mount builds. I feel like those are the most What's the most popular meme build that you guys run into? Like for the viewers will bring into you as a kit.
AS23. What? Just kidding.
An AK.
The
An
one with
AK.
8 flashlights.
Yeah, the
That's
eight,
always a common one for me.
the 8 flashlights or like the 35 stacked on sights. I feel like are
That's
Yeah.
the most common
AK
one.
with 6 sights, drum mag of T45M.
I get the drum mags on the AK with no buttstock on it. The AK drum mag pistol with the flashlights on it. Right, Jelly? I know you're in chat. I see you, bud.
You want
Oh.
good meme kids? Captain Cope. He's your man.
Oh yeah.
He's
Oh,
your
yeah?
man. Yeah.
All right. So we talked about wipes before, and like, do you guys think that there's a big debate? Do we need wipes, or do we
Right
need
now,
something
yeah.
else?
100% we need wipes right now.
Yeah.
When they plan on, I remember a few years ago when Battlestate had the idea of like making an open world after you survived every extraction, kind of like the guide. That quest, once you completed that, you got an open world version of the game, and then they're not going to wipe it whatsoever. But I think Nikita actually said something similar to that yesterday in the podcast. But like, it's just going to get boring. It really is. People are going to like, once they say no wipe, people are not going to be playing more than 3 months, and I feel like the game might die even more.
Yeah. Well, didn't Nikita say that you're gonna have like 2 players? Like, you're gonna have like one
Yeah,
that wipes
that'd
and
be
then
cool.
one
Yeah.
that doesn't. Yeah,
Mhm.
and I think that could make a big difference in the game. Ping restriction, Scorpion mentions. I mean, again, ping
yes.
restriction can
Yes,
kind of be
please.
dummied by the VPN thing that we talked about. Still, like, if you get a VPN can still kind of fake that ping restriction. I mean, that's, you know, so it's tough for them to ping restrict or region lock people because VPN, like, they region locked, what was it? Didn't they region lock like China and PUBG, and then just everybody got VPNs instead? You know, so there's always ways around that, and that's tough. Unless they IP ban people, they're cheating. That's the only thing that I think's effective. And again, VPN. Like, VPNs just allow people to get around so many things. Like Carson was talking about those. Like, VPNs make people's worlds go round all around the world, literally. So,
People
do you guys
do
think
not need a
about-
wipe. People need stuff to do. If that requires a wipe, okay, yes, then we need a wipe. But
yeah,
people need stuff to do.
I've been doing a lot of pistol running and having a lot of fun with that.
I've been running shotguns woods. Dude, that's
Yeah.
amazing. I've been killing Sturman with
Yeah,
shotguns.
I think
And
the
that's
only
all
problem
I've been doing. I don't want to
Yeah.
run any other map.
I think doing all those things for us can be fun, but it's still like do you run into the lack of players, or do you run into like I've run into a lot of 4-man squads, and that's tough. I mean, that's a challenge. Like, when you run in with like the shotgun, or like you're running like, I'm just gonna run Mosin in this, or like you're trying to do the pistol run, and then you run into like the 4-man group. It's like really high risk and reward. Like, you're like, if you pull it off, you are a god, and you are like on this endorphin high for like the rest of the night, right? But at the same time, you're like, man, can't I just run into like a 2-man or like one person? You know, like, it's like that. It's like that wishy-washy thing when you start doing some of those things. Like, I'm gonna run, you know, Devastator slugs, or you know, what's Lupo's famous for, the Reap IR Taz, right? He'll run the thermal taz around, and I mean, he's done some hilarious stuff with it. But how many times did that not work for him? I mean, most people only see the times that it works, just like, you know, a lot of our content. You know, you either see the really, really funny, unfortunate things, or the really epic things, and we don't see anything in between. So yeah, I mean, if they did a wipe right now, would you guys be happy with it, or do you think it's math? You know,
No,
they don't need to right
this
now.
is very controversial, but like people are begging for a wipe. But if they wiped right now, there would be no content, right? They don't have these things done. They don't have these things released, right? So if they wipe right now, the only thing that they can guarantee is maybe, you know, a small fix or something like that. But like they have no content to release right now. They're not done streets. They're not done
Lighthouse or factory expansion.
Yeah, exactly. They're not done that. So everybody wants this wipe, and everybody, you know, is going straight to this wipe idea. But like people aren't understanding that.
The wipe is like putting a
anti-wipe.
Band-Aid on it, right? Like, oh, nobody's playing. Like, let's put a Band-Aid on it.
Yeah,
You know, that's kind of how I feel it is.
especially with the servers right now. I consider some of my servers even dead nowadays, but they're still desync. Can you imagine if they wiped right now, and brought all these people back? The servers would probably explode. You know, 20-minute matching times, 100%.
I mean, yeah, wipe brings people back, but it's if they bring people back now and then there's nothing else to do, I think people will leave the game even faster and they might not come back. Like, people always kind of like wait for the wipe, right? But if they just like, hey, we're gonna give you this wipe, we'll bring some people back so you guys can quit crying and complaining, and then it'll be like, people will be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna get my kappa or whatever, or speed run to 40, and then you're gonna be like, dude, nothing's changed. They might not even do the whole thing. They might just be like, I'm done.
If they wipe right now, they'll have to wipe in 2 weeks. Give it 2 weeks, and people will be asking for a new wipe.
Right. Yeah.
That's what's gonna
It would be
happen.
like a every 6 week thing if they were doing it without introducing new content and things that new stuff for people to do. Sure. It's like, again, it's a Band-Aid. You know. Are you enjoying playing the game? Yes or no? Well, if you're not, if you really love the game, you'll find other ways to enjoy it. You know. Learn other maps. I don't know, you know, like some of us don't know all the maps or don't know one really well. Go play it. You know, or challenge yourself. It stinks that you have to do that, but I mean, you can. Let's see. What do you guys? I mean, I think we kind of already beat this one dead. The player base dropping off. We've kind of established that. It's content. Do you think there's ever going to be a time where the player base doesn't drop off?
No.
Yeah. You know.
Early wipe is just the
Yeah.
bread and
Exactly.
butter, baby. So
Right.
I can't wait personally till the 2 servers come, and like I hope it's on like a 4-month rotation. Like, and going back to what you were saying about transparency, like they don't have to be like, hey, June 1st, we're wiping.
Right.
But like, you know, hey, sometime around June, we're thinking about wiping. You know, they could tell us in like February or something. Just like for peace of mind, something I can look forward to, you know, plan things for the stream. But early
That
wipe,
I
man,
totally agree with.
they don't have to be, right? They don't have to pinpoint, because then they have time. Like, oh shit, stuff broke, so we got to go back a little bit further back in June. You know, it's like it works for me.
Right.
I don't know. I just, because they did tease that. I don't know how long you guys have been playing, but back in like 2000, I think it was either late 2019 or 2020. They
did
were like,
tease it.
hey, wipe's gonna be in August. All of a sudden, it was in October or something. I was like, what the fuck? Dude? I was
Right,
so
yeah.
upset.
Yeah.
I was so buttered, dude.
I mean,
Don't
at
tell
least
me
if they
that.
give you something to look forward to and they have to push it back, that's like understanding. If it's in a reasonable time, yeah, I don't. The flea market went back to traders having no high tier gear. I mean, that's the thing is everybody has ideas on how do you slow the wipe down, and I think that's a big thing is how do you make that fresh early feeling of everyone running around on reserve with it, trying to find BT to put in their AKs, because you're pretty OP if you get that,
Don't
right?
Give everybody BP ammo at the beginning.
Yeah, well, that's
Okay,
definitely
so-
one thing.
Because I this is the thing about the BP ammo thing that a lot of people don't understand is that the players that are really good at this game, I don't think people know how long they extended that BP, because I know myself and several others, we were killing new players with mags full of BP, and we had BP. I think we had loads of BP that almost lasted a month. Now, some people probably ran out faster because they didn't know how to utilize it and they didn't know how to hide it in their containers as well as some others. But I mean, man, that BP for some of us lasted so long because some people started a week late. And we were collecting BP even 2 weeks in. We were collecting tons of BP.
Right. You had the good players ended up with a giant BP stockpile because they took it from everybody that was like, oh my god, I got this BP. I'm gonna be a god. Like the ammo all of a sudden makes all the difference. It helps, but if you can't hit the broadside of a barn, it doesn't matter.
Well,
You're just making a donation.
Well, that's what I was trying to explain. So I talked about this other day with someone, is that the BP. Okay, so the BP didn't only make it easier for the smaller players. They're the players that aren't as good, rather. It compounded how quickly, a good player with BP ammo at the start of the wipe will accelerate their movement to Kappa very quickly. Like, it's very exciting. But now you have players that aren't good at the game with the BP ammo that they can also collect from. Oh, you're compounding that issue even more. I mean, it was so rapid, this wipe. It was nuts. And then you add on all the other stuff that they did. They did a lot of weird stuff, right? They then did the ASA and all that solar panel stuff like a month into the wipe. Like, it was one of the most bizarre starts to a wipe I've ever had.
I would like to not see that stuff again. I think they eventually were stubborn and made changes. And I felt like it took them way too long to make the one change they really needed to make. And they punished everybody else that wasn't, like, up to the max in 3 weeks.
No life. Yeah.
Anybody that wasn't in no life, they were like, boom, boom, right in your face.
Like, remember back when they did it with they took away the thick items case and gave everybody items cases?
Yeah.
The community was like, what the fuck, dude, right? And then they had to go back and switch it. That's what I think Gino was talking about. Like, if they got to, like, get their shit together and do that stuff when the wipe happens, change things around, give some content, like fix things. Because when you do stuff like that middle of a wipe, like back when marked rooms had sick cases, then day later they didn't, like that pissed people off. Like, and because I know guys that got like 10 sick cases, and then there was a new player that never has a chance of ever getting one again.
Right.
It shouldn't be done halfway through the wipe or a month into wipe or a week into wipe. It should be done day one. Freaking one.
What Ken said in chat, like, making things more expensive was the laziest fix for the problem. Oh, a lot of people have money. We'll just make everything super expensive. Well, what if you don't have a lot of money? Like, what if like you were busy spending time with your family around the holidays when wipe was? And I know some people that came in like a week after wipe started, and they were like, "Yo, dude, everybody's running around in tier 5, tier 6 armors. Jeez." Like they overcame that. They overcame that situation, but it was like, geez, that is a serious situation to overcome. And then they're like, you know, like you said, like the solar panels and all that stuff. Like, we all know what the problem was. The economy got super inflated because people rushed Bitcoin farm and had a ton of money and just didn't care about gear anymore. And instead of just saying, hey, you know what? The Kita even came out and was like, we really like how the Bitcoin mechanic. Dude, make it a fifth of a real life Bitcoin. Keep it tied, but not to 0.2, whatever it was. No, they just tried to make it super hard to get the Bitcoins, but everybody already had 100 million rubles at that point. They were like, whatever, we're just going to buy the farm. Don't matter.
Yeah.
Right. And then the Bitcoin thing, what I'm getting out of that you're talking about that's so obvious is a consistency problem.
Right.
And they struggle with this so much. But the problem is when it's this issue, they only listen to big streamers, because I don't know if you remember, but there was the whole issue with LPS, the 762 by 54R being OP and how it could one tap. So not only did they increase the thorax from 80 to 85, they made LPS limited, but then they added the KS23.
Yeah.
Why they did that? And Shrap 10 is the cheapest ammo that can one tap someone without a headshot. They take a step forward and they take 358 steps back. I don't understand why they do it. They did it with Bitcoin, and here they are trying to revert back. Oh, let's limit Bitcoin. Like, nothing they do is consistent or makes sense. And for some reason, the only people they listen to are big streamers. So unless you can get a big streamer to advocate for you, you're screwed. You're just screwed.
And I think that even the big streamers say, "Hey, you need to fix this subject," and then they're like, "Okay, we'll just find a solution, the quickest solution to appease that person's fan base, right?" Like, well, we're making money too fast. Well, what's a good way? We'll make the clothing as an example, right? How much the clothing used to cost? $200,000-$300,000 to buy the clothing when you leveled up. Now it's like $5 million. They tried to build in money sinks into the game to get money out of the economy instead of just fixing it from the start. They're like, hey, people have too much money. Well, let's give them something to spend it on. Hey, that jacket that you were saving up for? A consistency thing again. Hey, you really wanted that sweet flannel? Guess what? It now costs 3 million rubles or whatever it is when it was like 300K.
My issue with the Bitcoin thing too is they waited far too long to finally nerf the pricing of Bitcoins. But then by the time that they nerfed the pricing, they had already done everything else to counteract it. You needed the 2 Tetrises and everything like that, and the batteries just to unlock a Bitcoin. So now we have the Tetrises and the batteries. We still need those for the Bitcoins that are now only worth 200K. Like if you're going to revert back to the way that it was when it was working originally, why not just also go back to the Tetris to Bitcoin conversion instead of now you're just making it even more broken. So not only did you nerf, or did you not make it more difficult to get the Bitcoin and nerf the price?
Because you would have to admit that your initial changes were wrong, and that's what you'd be doing if you did that. It's a pride thing.
It hurts.
It does hurt. It's whatever. I mean, I don't know. I just one thing that I've noticed. Tell me if I'm wrong. Loot tables have dropped off since the beginning of the game. Does anybody else find they're finding less higher tier loot? I mean, that higher tier loot's worth a lot less, but I mean, like GPUs, ASA boards.
I used to find way more Lettys on Shoreline, and I never see them spawn as much as as I did. I see maybe llama scopes a little bit more, and even then, those are like super nerfed too. It's ridiculous.
GPUs on interchange.
Yeah,
I used to find a lot.
Right
now they're all gone.
I mean, what's the point? What do you think their reasoning is behind that? Like, it just makes no sense. The people have 1 billion rubles don't care that loot isn't going to slow them down at all because they already have more money they can ever spend. But don't you think that affects like the new or more casual player base? By like, hey guys,
it's based on player base.
Right.
Because whenever I run labs a lot with friends, and we have gone into empty lobbies, and we realize there's no other players because we cannot find loot.
Yep.
Yeah.
If we
that's
don't
weird.
find good loot, it 99% of the time it's like, okay, we're alone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Spawns and labs
weird.
suck right now, and then on top of that, it's really crazy expensive to even get into labs. By the time that you're like, the people who main labs are people that are just losing money. Like there's barely any profit from running labs anymore, because if you're either not getting loot because the spawns kind of suck now, but then you also you will run into hackers have always loved labs. That's just a given. We know that, and it's they're hackers or dead lobbies for me whenever I run labs.
I mean, yeah, I think, and this is one of those things that I agree with a lot of the things that Clean says. I know Clean's like the big spokesperson we talked about earlier. One of the things that I disagree a little bit on is like Clean's like, it's a hardcore game. You got to put a lot of time into it to get rewarded. Mm-hmm. And though I somewhat agree, like you should have to learn how to play the game, I don't think you should get punished because you don't have 40, 50, 60 hours a week to devote to Tarkov. The cool thing about Tarkov is you can boot up the game, you can play a couple raids and turn it off. But if you want to be like, I want to be making money and I want to be keeping up with everybody, like for a long part of the game, like you're like, dude, for me, for anybody, I get home from college, I got to play Tarkov because I got to keep up. I got home from work, I want to play Tarkov so I can try to keep up with people. I think that if the scale there is too far apart, right? Like the casual players are here and the people that have 60, 70, 80 hours, they're like so far into the clouds. I feel like they should yeah, you should get rewarded for playing more, but it shouldn't be that much. Like, you know, I know people that play 3 times as much as I do, and they've got 10 times as much to show for it in game. You know, I just feel like it scales out of control. Like every additional 5 hours that you play, I feel like you're 20 hours ahead of me. It's just though it's the way that it feels, and that's coming from somebody that I just, you know, right now I play Tarkov 3 or 4 days a week for 3 hours or so, you know. So I think the people that play it all the time, and as content creators, I know some of you guys are full-time content creators, like you have the hours to play. You know, and it's always like sometimes it's tough. Like early in Wipe, I played a lot with Atlas. We did some duos and stuff. I'd get home. In the winter, I'm slow, so I'd get on at like two or something. He'd be halfway through a stream. He'd be like, "Hey, jump in, let's do some duos." And he was like so far more geared than I was at that point. I was like, "Dude, I'm still putting a decent amount of time in." And he's a better player than I am, more experience, has a bazillion way more hours than me. But it was kind of almost like, "Wow, dude, you were that far ahead already? Like 2 weeks into Wipe, 2 or 3 weeks into Wipe, like." Goodness gracious, like you've got a lot of money to spend. And while I think he should get rewarded for that and rewarded for his experience, I do feel like sometimes it's like, Jesus, like I feel like a terrible player, and I'm not saying that I'm a good one, but I know that it just like some of those times it almost feels like it's get this negative I'm defeated attitude sometimes. When you look at that. And then they made all those changes on top of everything, and it was just like cry myself to sleep at night.
I get what you're saying. And I agree, like, it shouldn't punish casual players. It shouldn't. But it shouldn't cater to them, dude. It shouldn't.
Yeah.
You should always cater to the people that play the game the most.
I mean, agree. It just seems
but
like...
I don't want to, you know, people, I don't have kids yet. And like you said, I just stream. So I can't, you know, people have kids and they have a job and then they want to play. It's not fair that like, or if like something is caters to hardcore players like that. So I see what you're saying, but like, if you know Joe down the street plays Tarkov once a week, I don't give a fuck, brother.
Right?
Like,
no, I agree. I agree. I just feel like there's low, medium, and then like high player base, and I feel like the difference between low and medium is very similar, and the difference between medium and high is huge for me. Like if you play 5, you know, like I don't know, 6 hours a week, I feel like the range of like 6 to say 25 to 30 is the same. Like you don't really accomplish that much more sometimes. It's where if you are that full-time 40 to 60, I feel like you are significantly far ahead. I just feel like the scale is off. Like I said, you should definitely be rewarded for playing more. Any game is like that. And any game also I feel like one of the good things that I like about Tarkov is if you know the game really well, there's an RNG factor, but if you know where to go and look for loot or look for fights or get to the marked room and you can get your way there, you are going to get rewarded for it. This is where like some other games, it's like I need this item for this game. I got to kill this boss. You kill that boss 50 weeks in a row and you could be the best player in the world and it never drops and you can never get it. Except for collector quest items, because we all know that people have always had those where they need to get that last streamer item for their kappa. You know, I just want to kind of like talk about that a little bit because I know like some people are very like, hey, if you don't play a lot, well, go pound sand. I don't care. I mean, yeah, if you play like 2 hours a week, then yeah, I mean, and you're level 12, then you stay level 12.
Well, but I also think to the same effect, like, and I think we can all agree, if you're a game developer, I really hope you don't build your game around someone getting kappa in like a week or something.
Yeah.
Like please don't cater to that, because I would say majority of people that get kappa, it's definitely actually, see, this is what I think Atlas was talking about this earlier. If we need more data, I would bro, let's caveat to that is, speaking of America's Army, I first started in 2006, and if you've played it, there was this amazing website, a third-party website, but it was still data gathered from America's Army. They had a lot of analytics. You could see most map you played, how many kills you got, It'd be really nice to see what is the average kappa time.
Yeah.
And I think that's who you cater to. I do. I think you cater to that area, that zone of player.
And also like all this kappa madness is like, we notice like more and more every time it wipes, people are like yo, 79-hour stream. And they just like kill themselves like doing
Oh my
it.
gosh,
And I'm
so
just
true. It gets
and then they're
worse.
just
It's
like
so
2
true.
weeks later, they're the ones on Twitter talking about, man, this fucking
We need a wipe.
Like,
and I'm just like,
they
oh my
grinded the
god, go
game
play
in 2
hard,
days.
dude. Chill. Like you don't need to do an 80-hour stream. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy, man.
Yeah.
My my opinion on this that we were talking about with like how not necessarily catering to the lower level players, but you're also kind of like bouncing back at the people that play too much, goes right back to the idea that Gino brought up way beginning of this whole discussion with the whole thing where once you hit Kappa, it forces a wipe. And, like that alone, I think would completely fix that. Like like the people that are grinding, they have Kappa now, but they also lost all their kit. They have
Right.
to get it all back.
They're back to starting where everybody else is just are still going
Yeah.
through. They got to
Like,
go back through and remark,
Yeah.
UN vehicles on customs,
Yeah.
with
Like,
no
that
gear, but a
idea.
bigger Kappa container.
That idea
Somebody
was, like,
mentioned
genius.
eliminating. What if they eliminated the Kappa containers or eliminated containers in general and gave you another reward?
I talked to somebody that they wanted the reward to be that you unlock the flea market by doing all that. But could you imagine not having the flea market for the whole, like, I think that's a little excessive. However, I do think that unlocking the flea market instead of just giving it out to all the level 10s
Yeah.
is an interesting idea.
Yeah. But there wasn't a flea market when I started though. Like
Yeah.
life was good kind of back then when there was
Yeah.
no flea market. So I wouldn't be like against that idea. I understand it's going to make it harder for those people that don't have flea market. But when
Yeah.
I started Tarkov and I only put like 2-3 hours into the game, so there's no excuse for the people that can't play, right?
Yeah.
That's what, when there was no flea market, the game seemed a lot different than it is now. I don't know how to really explain it. It kind of felt hardcore. Like nowadays, I don't feel like Tarkov as a hardcore game from my perspective. I do understand that I'm, a creator and stuff, and I do have a
Right.
lot of hours to put into this game, but I don't feel like this game is going towards a hardcore perspective on where Battle State is trying to go, and they're kind of going towards the competitive perspective and the Chad perspective instead of all the stuff that the internal integrity of the game was planning to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. What if they capped items on the flea market? Like, what if they capped values? Like, you had a max value you could sell it for. You could sell it for. You get more money
That's a
than
good
giving
idea.
it to the trader. But they capped it. They said, hey, trader's going to give you, 25K for this item. You can go flea market it for 32, but that's the cap. So you can make a little bit more money using the flea market and maybe make items available to players. But like you put a cap on it, or like a ridiculous, like people sell red card at the beginning of web, like you get to that point where red card's 100 million rubles, right? Or some ridiculous amounts of money, 50K, 50 million rubles. Like what if that was capped? What if that was capped at like 10 million? That's it. Boom, done. You're never selling it for more than this. It's not. This is where the flea market caps on these items. Four grips are capped at this many dollars, and you're gonna get more than selling it to the traders. But you're not going to get that much, or just impose like a really big tax on it to the point where, yes, you make more money, but like you're not making, hundreds or millions of rubles for one single item. What do you guys think about that?
See, I like the idea, but you have to understand, right? Like, if they did have this cap, then they could never change the spawn rate of that item again. For example, like you're saying, if they capped, for example, LEDXs at 2 million, okay? Let's say they capped it at 2 million. They can't change the spawn rate anymore. If they up the spawn rate, then there's going to be a lot, like the price is going to go down. But if they lowered the spawn rate, then the price has to go above that amount, right? So Tarkov, I feel like they can't really cap flea market items. I don't know why they don't do something like at least test it out for a little bit. I know they have that testing thing, but the found and raid stuff, right? Like the flea market is all found and raid stuff, but I think they should be able to change some of the stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If that makes sense. If that makes sense.
I think the idea of unlocking the flea market is probably the best way to do it and making it a little bit
Yeah.
difficult to get the flea market. Because I will say that I know people who, they're not as good in the gunfights and stuff like that, but they still enjoy Tarkov because they love to play that economy game. Like
Yeah.
they do enjoy the flea market, and completely stripping the flea market from people who enjoy that aspect is just kind of like unfair to that group. You can't you can't cater to one group more than the other. You kind of have to find a good balance. And I think the good
Yeah.
balance to that would be unlocking the flea market like through a task or something, or a couple tasks. Like it has its own task line, kind of like how you have like the Tarkov shooter task line, everything like that. Like maybe like a couple of tasks that you have to go through to unlock the flea market and get it going, just so
Right.
that it's not just something that everybody has access to. And it
Right.
also will make the rest of the game harder, like Gina's saying, it'll be a much more hardcore, because then your tasks, you can't just go to the flea market and buy everything that you need for your task and like that, because you have to first unlock the flea market, so it
Yeah.
slows down that Kappa grind too.
Yeah. It was interesting.
Go ahead, Dad.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
All right.
No, you go.
All right.
I'll go after.
So somebody was I was lurking in Valiant stream today, and somebody was like, "How do you make money?" And then Valiant was like, "Dude, I spend my early wipe going in and just trying to like make money right off the bat. Find all those early game items that everybody wants for their hideout, and he goes and tries to farm as many of those as he possibly can. And once he gets flea market open, to make a bunch of money, and then that funds everything else for him." And I almost I think making flea market harder to get is going to curb that, and it's also going to curb that initial influx of money that people get, right?
I like it. I like it. I was just gonna say, going off of what you and Miss Trash just said, I think Fence would be a really good trader.
What?
To do those flea market quests. Anyways, chat paid me to do that. Sorry.
I was thinking
No,
the
they
same thing
bullied
too.
me.
I was a part of it. I think but I was even gonna say that, so I love that he said that to shave his head. That having it because you don't have any fence or like tasks except for like you turn in all your collector items at the very end for Kappa, whatever. Like that's I want to see him being interacted with more. Imagine you have to go through fence to unlock the flea market. And I'm gonna have this normal conversation while he's just shaving his head.
Oh, I cut myself a little, I think.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's so good.
We're talking about Tarkov. Okay, stop. Chat.
Yeah, they're never gonna take away the flea market. They don't like admitting they were wrong with anything, so they're not gonna take it. Flea market's here to stay. Nice, we love it. I guess you're not gonna grow that mullet out now, huh, Atlas? No mullet
Dude,
at all.
they said eyebrows, and I looked it up, and it said 6 months to grow your eyebrows back, and I said, okay, nope.
You don't like the eyebrow tattoos?
No eyebrows. Oh my god, you're not gonna have Mrs. Atlas draw some eyebrows on for you before you get on
No.
stream?
She doesn't love me that much.
All right. All right. So I want to. I got some things that we want to go into. Let's take a. Oh my god, these people are trying to get me to shave the mustache. We already talked about it the other night, and I'm not going to mention it again because I'm trying not to have to shave my mustache. All right. Let's take. We're gonna take like a 3-minute break, guys. So, because I'm sure Carson has to go to the bathroom again. And I gotta go get a drink and check on
Yeah,
Boy
I gotta
Life.
finish shaving my mullet anyway.
So we'll be back in like 3 minutes, guys. All right.
Okay.
We're back. We're. I can't. All right, I can't take this serious anymore. So now that we have the class clown here. Literally, that is no. We're talking about Miss Trash. Class clown. So, somebody just mentioned something, and it's perfect because I already have this all queued up, ready to go. Somebody wanted to talk about proper etiquette when dealing with hatchet runners. So we're gonna queue on over here.
This Gino's clip.
Oh no.
To this clip.
Gino's clip.
Oh no.
Let us know what's going on here.
Oh.
Oh no! Oh, I remember this.
Your face here.
Dude,
Look.
I don't.
You're like, what did I just witness and do to somebody?
Savages, dude. Like,
Dude, that
it
was
was like the zombie
Wow.
apocalypse, man. They like fucking,
Wow.
you know, when rats are starving. I mean, wrong word. I don't want to use rats. When like raccoons are starving, you know, like Jesus, fucking crazy.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
You guys got to agree with me, Gene. Everybody here, like, hatchet runners are like content a lot of the times, more often than not,
bro.
Yeah.
How many different ways can hatchet runners be content? You could try to befriend them.
That's
Things
how
that
you
I've
get your
seen.
grenade kills at the beginning of the wipe. You find a hatchet runner, you shoot him in the leg, and you put a grenade at his foot.
And
Yeah.
the chat loves that too. They're like,
They
yes!
love that.
Get the hatchet runner.
We're going bowling, motherfucker.
I mean, honestly, I've seen like two different clips that I love. One of them's that one in Drop Down because it's hilarious because we all know we like, God dang, you go to Drop Down and you're like, the hatchet guys were already here. God dang it, you know? But the fact that you went in there, whipped yours out and killed two of them is like everything was right in the world that day. I was there to watch that one live and I was like, this is great. This is fantastic. This is fantastic. The other one that I saw, and I don't have the clip ready, but it was when you bait the hatchet runner they're like, come here with me. It's gonna be
when you throw it
okay.
on a graphics card, you're like,
Yeah,
hey, dude,
yeah.
just
The best
take
is
it.
when you go in somewhere and you unlock stuff. And Pestily did it one time, and it's Pest, so it's like everybody's like, Tarkov, Dad, you know, like he's a good guy Pestily, right? He lures this guy into a room, throws a grenade in, and closes the door on him, and it explodes, and he kills him. After he had been the guy had been following around, he'd been giving him stuff, like giving him items for like 5 minutes. This guy thought he'd hit the jackpot. And then he like gives him the old motion, like, yeah, go in there. I unlocked the safe. Guy goes in there, he throws it in, slams the door. You can see the guys like fumbling, cause as you know, sometimes you get them through the door a little bit. You can see like the forehead sticking through the door as they try to fumble to unlock it. It was such a good clip. But yeah, we love those moments. So that's like why we love Tarkov, when those things happen, right? I got one.
Story with the hatchling.
I mean, the hatchling stuff. I mean, it's cool. It's like I'm not gonna lie. I know somebody that's great at this, and I play with him a lot. Is King Codex, dude. That dude goes in with a pistol or a hatchet, and will come out with a slick and an M4 all the time. He just does like the most ridiculous stuff. And like, I'm not normally that guy, but like there's some people that just like get away with it, and they don't even like hide in a bush. They're just like move really fast and do unexpected stuff and like get away with some of the dirtiest things that I've ever seen with a pistol. And like I've had a couple of those moments, but like there's some people that do it all the time. Torquay was doing like pistol runs day after day after day, and he was just doing dirty things to people. And it's just so fun. That stuff is so fun. That's like the late wipe stuff, right? You see like the Chad squad running, and you're just like, hey, I'm gonna take this PL-15 and put it in this guy's head eyes and take his stuff and kill all his friends with it. You know, especially, my tendency is, I notice is when I'm playing with people I'm comfortable with, we'll kind of fan out, you know, on the map and be like, yo, I'm on customs. Yo, I'm in meth lab. Okay, cool. 2 of us are gonna go over to, say, machine gun nest or stronghold, whatever you guys want to call it. And you sneak in and you kill the guy in the lab, take all his stuff, and then go kill his 2 friends in machine gun nest. Oh my god, those are always super fun. I got one, Carson. I think can you explain what you were thinking when this one happened here? Hold on, we'll get this clip pulled up first.
I died to somebody standing there the other day, dude.
Oh my god,
no.
poor Carson.
That spot is so nasty.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
All right. So So this is what happened. Wait, is it over? I don't know if it's.
Yeah, it's
I'm
over, it's
on
over,
the
it's over.
delay. Okay, so it was a viewer of mine. He wanted me to jump into into like a camping spot, and I over jumped and fell into the crevice. Well, he jumps in, and I'm like, well, hey man, if you jump in with me, maybe you can boost me out. Well, he starts trying to kill me, and I'm like, why are you killing me? I kill him. Anyways, I found a random dude. I yelled at him. He came and killed me finally to get me out of there because I had no grenades. I recall.
Otherwise, you would have been stuck there for forever
Yeah,
while
yeah.
streaming. That'll
Weird
teach
clip.
you.
Very strange. Very strange.
I was going through stuff. And I was like, oh god, oh my god, this happened.
Yeah.
This is a thing that happened.
Yeah.
I got stuck once. How many times have you guys gotten stuck?
I don't
Only
remember the
tried
last
it once.
time.
I didn't know
That's
that was a
honest-
spot
Never been
until like this week.
Yeah.
I
That's
got
the only one I know of.
Yeah.
domed.
I've never
Um,
been stuck, but I have a buddy that I play with sometimes, Squinch. He just gets stuck. He's that type of player that just jumps around and gets stuck. You guys know the spools on interchange behind Goshan?
Mhm.
There's just no reason to go up there, and he's just like, dude, I can't get out. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why?
Yeah.
And then the little spot by Kiba, and between generic and Kiba, you know what I'm talking about? Like where you could jump on the boxes and get inside. Like you can't get out of the. I don't know how people find these things. I'm
They're
fucking
finding. They're trying to find spots to rat. That's what it is. Like the spot I
Maybe,
jumped into. Yeah. No, these are dudes
Yeah.
literally trying to find spots to rat. It's crazy. These dudes are ruthless, man. They look for
Yeah.
every spot.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch Willers, he's notorious for being like, you know what, I bet I could get up there. And then like 2 minutes later, he's either there or he's not. But like, it's always tough. Like you feel when if anybody ever does that on stream, you're like, well, great. This is going to be terrible because I just taught however many people how to do this. And now I have to look here because I just was too curious for my own good sometimes. This is a clip. It's not from any of us, but this was clipped the other day. And I think he was talking about it in Carson's stream the other day. And I love this. And I've tried to do this once or twice. And we've all seen these kind of clips, but Jesus, this is a clip from Hyper Rat. He took it to the next level. And it's some of the funniest stuff to do is the old imposter move. You can't do this stuff in any other game.
Just imagine the Discord comms.
I mean, that's what we've all seen, the ones where it's like 1 2 3 4 5. Wait, there's only 5 of us. Or there was only 4 of us. Who's the 5th one? And then like the Discord calls like, everybody lay down right now. But like those are hilarious to like infiltrate the enemy. Have you guys ever been able to pull that off?
I haven't.
Yes. Yes.
I've never. Oh.
Yeah.
I'm too
That's-
excitable. I see one
I-
person and I'm like,
And you're like,
It-
I gotta
I
shoot
miss
him.
all my shots, and then they all know. I'm like, fuck.
I spray a whole mag before that I can see the whole squad, you know?
I ran with a squad, not realizing it was an enemy squad, and I watched them murder my friends before I realized that they were not my friends. And I went, "Oh my god!" And I just sat there, waited, and then ended up getting my shit wrecked because I decided to shoot a little too late.
That's
But
great.
oh god, yeah, no, they didn't notice. I didn't notice until it was way too late.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. I'm gonna say this. Well, where's your favorite place on any map where you feel like you've had the best PvP?
Resort and shoreline.
But
I
like
don't know, I
specific,
got
like a specific area.
Oh.
So just resort, resort and shoreline, like by like key room, or is it just in general?
Skybridge.
Skybridge.
First floor
there's-
east, right? You know, I mean,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
There's not.
I don't even play shoreline. I'm fucking, jeez.
Mhm.
First
I
floor
shot through
east,
the
and
wall.
then they put Sanitar in there, and he'll be running around sometimes. So then you're like, is it Sanitar? Is it a Scav? Is it players? You know, you never know what you're gonna get, and it's or especially like 3 or 4 weeks in a wipe where you're feeling really really strong. but there's just so many people there. You're like, what am I gonna run into, right? What about you, Miss Trash? Do you have a favorite like PvP place where you're like always running into players?
Dorms or marked room and reserve and like the marked building.
Yeah.
Not the one over by a train, but the
But
when
yeah,
you're
the
drunk
act,
on-
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. What about you, Nat?
I don't know if I have a favorite place. I like Interchange a lot.
Yeah. I will tell
but-
you, I went through a bunch of your clips, and I know what your favorite place should be. Oh, I know what your favorite place should be. We'll watch a clip here in a few minutes. What about you, Carson? Labs main.
I mean, I like to play labs, but like if you were to pick like any other place, I would probably say customs in dorms. I mean, again, it's very similar to like any other map. Like holding the bush is independent. The people that actually want to fight in customs and on dorms, it is a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah. All right. Let's get that. Let me get that Nat clip up. And it's funny because I'm gonna say this is one of my favorite. This is at least my favorite place on customs to fight. And it seems like it's always a high action area. It seems like it's always high action or dead. But let's take a look at this. The old crack house.
That one. You know what's the funniest thing? Those guys were stream sniping me. It was a team of 3. They came into my chat. They were stream sniping me.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. That's so unfortunate that that's a thing. You can tell when they're doing it. Wow. Wow.
That was my teammate's Nate.
Hmm. Look at this flick. Oh my goodness. Goodbye. Goodbye. Good night, sir.
Oh, he's so bad. Good job. Screw that guy.
Had the drop on you. Everything. I've actually, a funny thing is I met Miss Trash through one of my viewers who I killed sniping in reserve. And he was wicked chill and didn't tell his other 4 teammates where I was. So, that's how I came to know
nice.
Miss Trash. That's just a warm, heartfelt Tarkov story for you guys. That's how cool the Tarkov community is. Or how cool some of them can be. Not everybody's like that, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's always, there's a lot of people that are really friendly, and there's a lot of people that will just go be like GGs and not say anything. But we all know there's also the ones that are like, okay, I know there's like a 10-second delay here, but like he's right over there, so I think he's gonna go like here or here. So like, one of you guys go over. You guys, you cover that hallway. You cover the other one. You guys are gonna get him. I get him. Take his stuff and then get my stuff back, and I'll go hide it. Okay. We all know that. That's what happens. And then like, I hate it. And I think we all do, is when we know it's happening, and then they come into your chat, and then they're like, GG's. And you're like, dude, was it GG's though? Like, just don't come in and say anything. At least if they just say GG's, but when they like say something like GG's, and then like some little backhanded comment, like, you thought you were gonna get my friend, or like, you missed me, you're trash. It's like, dude, you guys knew where I was. Like, I guessed where you guys were. You were running around like chickens. You knew where I was, and I was doing my best, it doesn't happen all the time, but every once in a while you're just like, well, donations, enjoy the donation, moving on. But yeah, I really like that spot, for sure. And I know this one's a good one too. This one's one of Atlas's clips over there. Let's check this one out. I mean, this is a really great spot. Protecting drunk HUD.
Who is this? And I'm sorry, I missed.
This is the Atlas
Atlas.
family.
Oh, you don't put your screen. Oh man, I thought you were always on.
This is the best part right here.
Oh no. Oh, not like this. Nice. Dude, we've all been there. Oh my god, that's so rough. Because in that moment, you turn around, you're just like, not letting this. Stop it. Stop. No.
He was AFK. I had to protect him.
Oh, that was a feel good moment right there, right?
That was
Like,
your teammate?
Yeah, that was my teammate. He was
No way.
he got the
dude.
you know the MDR bug when you reload and it
Right.
doesn't-
And he was
So either all F4 and I was like, dude, there's a team coming, bro.
that's that feels good moment, you know, when your teammate like bugs out or like they're like I gotta go do something or they have to all F4 and then you're like yo, are you back yet? Are you back? They're coming. And they're like, yo, dude, I can't get back in. And you're like, all right, I'm putting my
Pressure's
Superman
on,
cape
man.
on. We're gonna YOLO it, you know, like Leroy Jenkins, you know. And you're just like, hey, man, did my best, clutching it for the homies at its best. Heck yeah.
Yeah,
How
Carson,
rare is it to get?
I was just gonna say I can't play Tarkov with my webcam anymore because there's some optimization they did like a month ago or 2 months ago, and every time my webcam was on, I
Oh,
lost
really?
like 30 frames, man. It's crazy, and I know like 20 other streamers that have the same effect, so we don't play with webcams right now. And I mean, I tried
Really?
everything. I went down to like 720, you know, way down in my webcam quality, but it's just I don't know something with Tarkov.
I
It's
didn't
weird.
know that was a thing. I'm gonna have to look into that. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
just look at it.
Are you turning off your OBS preview by chance? Like, I remember when I had to change, like the OBS preview where you can see your own stream and stuff like that. I had to actually turn that off for a few weeks. My computer was struggling with RAM and stuff.
Oh.
So
I'll try that. I've always
yeah.
had it on forever. I'll try that.
Turn it off.
Thanks.
Yeah, or try. All you have to do is right click on it and close
Yeah.
preview, and it will just turn to a black screen, and you can try it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Let's try it.
That one's a good one. Speed Priest. How often do you get in gunfights where you think the fight was good and then hear from your opponent who also thinks it was good? Like they come into your chat and they're like, yo, GG's. Like it's just like feel good gunfight, like you just went back and forth,
I
right?
don't know, man. Nowadays, I feel like there's no fair fight, and that's not even me hating on Battle State or anything. I feel like nowadays, with the servers and everything, there is really not a fight that I can go back and say, well, this was fair, this wasn't fair, or this was fair, all around, right? I feel like there's some sort of server issue, desync, or something like that I feel like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like a GG fight is like me versus 3 and I win it.
Yeah.
You know, like that's, to me, and if they come in there like good GGs, like you were all over the place, we didn't know where you were, I'm like, yeah, that was a good fight. I killed all 3 of you. But like a 1v1, like I always feel like there's, I don't know. I don't have a lot of 1v1s where I'm like, yo, dude, like that, you almost got me, but I got you. Like, yo, that was crazy. It's like, it's not like that. It's either like I got hit in the head with M61 or didn't see the person or I got a mega drop on them and killed them. You know, like, and that's like that early wipe thing, right? You go into early wipe, you're like, yeah, I can actually shoot you with 6 bullets before you die unless I hit you right in the head, like this at this point in wipe. People are running MDRs and juice cannons and, the M61 guns where they blow through you or M993 or 995 or whatever. It's it can be a little bit crazy for sure. We all know this one, and we know that it's becoming, everybody's doing it now, and it's funny. It's the old SMB clip. Right? You guys know, if you know Velian, you probably know this clip right here. It's Miss Trash doing it with the SMB, and then he kills her. Oh my god. Oh my goodness.
Is that a secret left?
Oh my goodness.
Is that a secret list?
You talking shit
my
about
God.
my wooden chair right now?
That's
I'm
the-
at my dad's dining
That's the
room
IKEA
table.
special.
I think those kills are hilarious. So, like a month ago, I was playing on Saturday morning with one of my viewers, and he went to go unlock marked because it seemed like the servers were dead. We played like 3 raids in a row where we like barely saw anybody, or we saw little Timmies and we were just running over everybody. He runs down to mark room. He goes to unlock it, and that happened to him by none other than fucking Dr. Lupo. Dr. Lupo killed him, right? And then he's like, dude, he's like, I got killed by Dr. He's like, whatever it was. He goes, I got killed by Lupovsky. I go, dude, that's Lupo, bro. And then he's like, oh my god, dude. And then so we watched it, and the clip is hilarious because Lupo doesn't do that a lot, but like, Valiant knows, if you guys ever watch Valiant stream. But like Lupo likes to do some fun stuff, but Lupo was sitting there, he's like, somebody's actually coming. He's actually coming. And then I'm like watching it, and I was like, dude, I said, how does it feel? He was like, dude, he's like, it's hilarious. He goes, and then it was like posted everywhere like 3 days later. I was like, hey, I said, at least you get to live immortally, you know, on some sort of clip. Whether it was your highlight reel or you became somebody else's, it's fun, you know? But yeah, I think those plays are fun, but like, people get really upset. Like, there's people that really get mad when you do that to somebody, right? Like, there's people that come to your show and be like, I can't believe you were camping in the bathroom or down the hallway or something. But you're like, yo, everybody here thought it was funny, you know? Or you thought, you're like, I thought it was funny, you know? Alice and I did it one time there. We did it. We didn't do it in that door. We did it from the side doors. I think Atlas died too.
Valiant and I did 2, and both times the people that came to our chat were so chill about it. They're like, I can't even be mad at that. That was hilarious. And I'm like, I'm glad you're laughing with us, because otherwise this was gonna get really toxic. And I threw their, and like, I think the second clip that we did was like a lot more successful, and I threw their stuff for them because I was just like, there, here you go. Like, thanks for the TikTok content.
Do you guys do that a lot? Do you guys like, if somebody comes to your chat and they're like mad chill, and like their level, like what doesn't even matter. Like, you're like, dude, I just pulled off the most ridiculous stuff. I almost feel bad for killing you. Like, I probably shouldn't have been able to do that. Do you guys, like, hide people's stuff a lot of the time, or no? Or you're just like, well, all's fair in love and war, and see you later?
It depends on my mood.
Yeah, depends. If I'm having a bad day at Tarkov, you know damn well that's that kit that I just got from that friendly guy is going to my stash. You know, I might gift him a sub though because I feel bad. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. No, that's funny. Yeah, it depends. Like, I would say too. Like, sometimes if I'm like having a good day and I do something like that, I feel bad. It's like, sometimes I'm like, yeah, dude, I'll go throw your stuff in the bush. The worst is when you're like, yo, I'll be nice and throw something in the bush, and then you die in the process. Like, what's your guys' thoughts on, and in chat, you can speak on this too. What's your thoughts on, like, trying to hide your friend's stuff? And not like,
Always.
we've killed the whole
100%.
server, killed my stuff, but like we killed one people and somebody's like, I feel like there's 2 kinds of people, but I'll let you guys speak first, and then I'll give you like the second part of that question. What do you guys feel about like hiding your teammates' stuff?
Bro, U.S. military, bro. You recover that body. You cover everything, man. All right? Behind enemy lines, I don't care. We're going in. We're sending the Navy SEALs. I always hide my friend's shit because I used to not, and people would kill me with their shit. They'd come in with the, whatever, and like some Mosin man would one-tap them. I'm not going to worry about it. All of a sudden, I'm getting meta HK, dude. Like, you have to, or just use their dead body, like camp it, whatever it is. But I hate people that are like, Labs players do this. I don't watch Labs players. I don't know, but I used to see it all the time. When Labs players die or their teammate dies, they're just like, okay, I'll just get out. I'll just fucking, like, they don't even fucking like try to hide or like get the shit from their friend because I think there's no insurance involved.
yeah.
But like, for me, it's just weird. I don't know. I've always have to like try to avenge him or die trying. It's just part of it. And I rarely play with friends, but that's like my one.
Yeah. What about everybody else?
I don't play a lot of duos and trios or whatever, but
Next month.
I usually, we clear the area, first before we go hide in any gear, but I usually pick up their gear first before I pick up any loot from the enemies and stuff like that.
Yeah. I'll tell somebody if I think it's like a weird situation and I know somebody's looted, I'll be like, just leave my stuff. I'll take the chance, But yeah, I mean, if it's safe, I'll tell somebody to do it. But it does feel bad when you're like, yo, I'll go hide your stuff. And it's one thing to like avenge and fight another team. She's like, you killed my friend, right? But it's the worst when you're like laying down on reserve and then little Timmy player scav comes up and kills you with like, Devastator slug in the head at like 10 minutes left in the raid. And you're like, dude, we cleared this whole map.
Reserve is a different beast.
Yeah,
dude.
but I mean, or any, but it's like any map
That
like
map
like,
is
yo,
not for us. It's for the player scavs. All right, we just have to accept that.
accept
That
that.
is so true, man.
I mean, but
Good
when I do
Lord.
player scav armies, I'm like, we're going to reserve and we troll and we have fun. Like,
Yeah, get on the
Exactly.
GLs and try to kill raiders and players, and oh yeah, we had some fun. We've had some fun times on. I love player scav on reserve more than any other map, just because of like the challenge. I don't know. It's fun, but I also absolutely despise player scavs on reserve at the same time because they're me. They're trying to do the same thing, you know? Kill the last 2 PMCs that are greedy and then take all the loot. So, yeah. I just hate when you're like, hey, I'm going to be nice to this person. And it's always tough. And you're like, oh, go hide your stuff in the bush. You get their stuff in the bush and then you turn around and get shot by another team. You're like, oh my God, I could have just got out. I just could have got out. You're like, well, charity. We're all friends here. We're all friends here. I gotta share one of my most embarrassing clips ever, because I shared some embarrassing ones of you guys, so I'm gonna share an embarrassing one of myself right now. So a little context. Obviously, I discussed earlier that this is my first wipe, right? First wipe getting Kappa, rather. So the only thing I had left was the guide, and this happened. I'll let the clip speak for itself. My face. Last map of the guide. 200 meters from extract.
oh, that was the last for the guide, dude.
For the guide.
Sucks.
That was the.
Oh
I was
my
literally.
Can I see that one more time? Can you play that one more time?
Yeah,
I
I'll
gotta
start
see
it over.
it.
Face.
I think he ran in front of his friend's gun.
Yeah,
while
that's
he
what I'm
was
trying.
shooting.
Yeah, what happened?
So there's a little bit of context before the beginning of that clip. He was we were just running. We were almost there. We're like 200 meters from extract, right? It was I think it was a three or four man, right? And we're running and we're doing it. I think we were running four deep, right? And it took us a while because we had to fight a lot of people when I was on the guide for some reason. Like there was astronomical amount of players, and we fought like like 2 3-mans on woods, and then I'm obviously geared up to like my teeth with like Slick and Alton and everything, and I don't play with Altons much, and my friend starts kind of being Zen's in chat right now. He's the one who shot me. Zen's like, oh my god, because like they were like literally trying to like protect the president instead of let me just kind of like shoot a scav in the face. And they're like, oh my god, like there was 2 shots, and like I didn't, out of the peripheral of the Alton, I didn't realize there was a car there and ran into that door. And then my next reaction was, well, I'll just run around the other side. And he was standing there, and I ran. Like as I was running and saw his gun, I would like in my head I go, shit, and then boom, he fucking M99 fucking 5 right in my skull piece. And yeah, that was a sad day. So then I had to restart the guide from scratch. It felt so bad. I was like so close.
What map was that? I missed it.
That was on woods.
Woods,
From
okay,
like the
gotcha.
north vehicle
You guys
extract or whatever.
chose woods for the last
the
map?
Yeah,
last
for the
map,
last
dude?
one. Last one.
It was
Wow.
mine.
Yeah,
It
that's
was
crazy.
mine
What's your
as well.
what's your order,
The last
Carson? What
one.
do you roll it in?
Well, I start with labs, but I'm pretty sure I did. I want to say factory was definitely last.
Yeah, factory was last for me.
I want to say it was customs we did second to last, but right now I would be hesitant to do that because it's kind of crazy right now.
I did
Yeah.
interchange. I did interchange for mine
First?
because it's super easy to go around the map.
Or
you know?
last. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I think we had the interchange towards the end. It was like, I would say factory and interchange were definitely towards the end, but woods was not even close. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Like it was not close.
Yeah.
'Cause woods is sus, dude. Woods is super sus.
I don't know. I mean, we just did because it wasn't that late in the wipe where I was like worried about getting head-eyed. Like I was like, yeah, there's not gonna be that many people there. So we were trying to do the same thing you do on interchange. We're like, we'll just go on the outskirts. We'll be fine. Like we know where the minefields are. I can read signs. I know the signs mean don't get stuck in mines. And it was weird. It was like we ran into players on the edges when we don't normally. And
Yeah.
you know, yeah, I was super sad. And you guys all know it's like a 2 or 2.5 hour process to do those, because you
Yeah.
at least have to
If-
stay in
if
the
I
raid
were-
for like 10 some minutes.
Well, 7 now, but
Yeah.
I think if I were to do it now, I think I would definitely stack labs. I think I would go labs, reserve, customs, and then I would do the other ones.
Yeah, I think
If
we
I had to
did.
do it now.
We did. I think that's exact. We did labs, reserve, customs, interchange, and then we finished off with woods. Yeah, it was a feels bad moment for sure. And we actually, it was 3 of us were streaming. We actually have 3 different perspectives of it, and I need at some point I got to stitch it because it is hilarious. Because we have Zen's view of actually shooting me and feeling terrible, and then there was somebody like 30 meters back that like watched it all happen, and I'm like, dude, we got to stitch that together. It's gonna be a hilarious clip. So I have a bunch more clips. We're running pretty late here, so we're gonna move on. At this point, I want to take. Does anybody in chat have any questions for us as a group or anybody in particular? Now's your time to ask that. Type those in chat. If there's something we haven't covered that you have a question, who wants to get banned? Jeez. Shogun's all set. He's like, I'm out. So
Real quick, while people are thinking about what they want to say, someone earlier mentioned something I forgot to say, but when Gino and you guys were talking about bleeds, like light bleeds, heavy bleeds, and like how it would be cool to see like drips for light bleeds. They were saying like also, what if there's like even more dynamic bleeding? You know how like when you have a fresh wound and you're running, sometimes it opens up. What if when you have a light bleed, if you're in a fight, you know, with other PMCs and you can't bandage right away, maybe after like 2 or 3 minutes, it ramps up to a heavy bleed, just like could happen in real life. But I know it's different between like veins and like the sizes that they are, the locations in your body. But I don't know how Tarkov like codes it, but it would be interesting to see it.
Yeah.
That would actually be
And
really
maybe
cool.
like if you're diving and proning and stuff or jumping, like it's a higher chance of it opening.
yeah, that'd be cool. I'd like to see that. I mean, I just love when the bleed system came out. I was like, oh, dude, now I got to carry these hemostats. But in the long term, I really like the bleed system. I love it. I think it's great.
It's dynamic. Yeah, it's very dynamic. It's good.
I like some of the other dynamics, but I think they're overdone. Like the dehydration with ibuprofen. Like they could maybe tweak some of that stuff, but or even the bonus. I love the fact that Golden Star has a bonus, but like let's be honest, like rubbing some Golden Star on my lips is not gonna rehydrate me.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, you could. So what you could do instead of the dehydration part is just the more meds you take, your strength or your endurance goes down, not the actual hydration, because it's kind of silly that you have to drink. But like legitimately, like if you're cranking this many narcotics into your system, your body is suffering. So
Right.
I don't think the dehydration and like, okay, I don't know if you get what I'm saying here, but the dehydration and the loss of energy impacts your strength and endurance. Well, why not just make it where if you take this drug, your strength literally just for the remainder of the raid is deducted by 5, just
Yeah.
straight up, just
Yeah.
like make a penalty that because that's they have too many like it's more passive. It needs to be more aggressive and to the point. If they want to remove the painkilling meta, again, I don't know what BSG wants, and I can never understand it because it's very awkward and it changes back and forth between what content creator is requesting it. But it's like instead of making it hydration,
Savage.
well, that's what I'm saying. Instead of making it to where you eat 4 MREs in one raid and 6 Aquamaris, like just straight up just make it to where the strength is reduced and there's nothing you can do about it. You know what I mean? Because right now you can drink and eat, but no, just make it to where if you take X amount of medication, your strength is just directly reduced. There's nothing you can do about it for the remainder of the raid.
Yeah.
Just something, just heads up. Like that's a big. I mean, it's simple. It's too passive. Just what do you know what I mean? What do you want with this game? Do you want drugs in the game? Do you want it? Okay, You don't remove it. It's very simple, but instead they beat around the bush and say, well, if you eat 24 cans of, celery, you're good. It's so
Right.
bizarre to me. It's just very awkward. Just
Yeah.
let us know what you want this game to be and go with it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, morphine kicks in pretty fast. Speed pretty said it takes 30 seconds to kick in. I don't know if you've ever been on morphine, but I've been on it a lot. I have chronic kidney stones. It's not that I'm a drug addict, just in case anybody was asking or wondering. But
I was gonna ask who your connect was.
Morphine is literally like within 5 seconds you feel it. Obviously it's an injection, so it goes pretty quick. But yeah, I mean, some of that stuff is obviously not necessarily crazy to real life, Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, there's some small things, but obviously I think we all are in agreement that we would like to see the big things fixed, and then then focus on the content. But there's still a lot of fun things you can do in the game, and that's the bottom line is like the pistol runs and night raids, which night raids are a mixed bag. Night raids can be really fun, or they can kind of be a little bit boring, but there's other things in the game that they've added, like the cultists and stuff. I think they give that another dynamic. How many people have found the fantastic grilling spatula? Have any of you guys farmed the grilling spatula?
I have no clue what you're talking.
I
Are you
did,
talking
and
about?
I
I
the-
don't know what you're talking about.
There's
I died by cultists.
so the cultists have a new melee weapon, and it looks it's like
the
a machete,
tiger.
but it looks more like a
Yeah.
spatula, and I really
I've
want
never
it 'cause
heard
it fits,
anybody refer to it. Like, wow.
it
Okay.
fits my
Yeah.
dad vibe, It looks like a grilling spatula. It's a machete / grilling
Oh.
spatula. All right, I got a fun question. If you got a streamer item, what would it be? This trash, you start. It'd be a shoe full of beer. We get it. All right. Moving on. No.
Can we come back to me?
All right, sure. Gino, do you have an idea of what you'd want it to be?
Yeah, miniature replica Mosin that says "I heart mom" on the side because my mom got a kill in Tarkov. 100%.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Carson?
I don't know, honestly. I don't know. I know people have come up with ideas, but honestly, I don't know.
A portable urinal? What?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
I think he's just referring to the fact that he's been in the bathroom 50 times tonight.
Oh yeah, I do get okay. There is a
Hey,
trend in my
I
stream
pee
where
a
people
lot
say I
too,
stink.
Carson.
There is a
Don't
trend where
fucking
people
pee.
think. I will say no, for real. There is a trend that everyone says I stink, and it's like this thing. Because one time, man, be careful what you let your significant
Whoa.
others say. I'm telling you, man. She came in. My fiance came in one time and said I stink, and from that point forward, man.
You're playing Tarkov, bro. She doesn't know.
Exactly.
That's what
We
you're
gotta
supposed to smell like.
We gotta sweat it out, dude. We gotta
Douche.
sweat it out sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe deodorant would be my item. I don't know. Maybe.
Deodorant?
Be fun
Okay.
as fuck.
Yeah,
All right.
maybe.
Fair enough.
Oh, good one, dude.
Nat, what would yours be?
Some panties. Because many people have called me panties because
I
they
love
cannot.
that.
Because they-
Did
you say
I've been
panties?
called
Yeah.
panties.
Oh my God. Imagine some
Amazing.
scab wearing panties like.
Oh my god, I love that. I love that.
I mean, like they have to add a new part to the player model. They're like, okay, hey, holy crap! This one doesn't have the pens on. It's got the
That would be the
Papanati
most
panties.
Popular item in the game.
It would
Every
be.
streamer would wear it, dude.
Every-
With
yeah.
sunglasses and a mustache, just like.
Son. Oh my god! What about you, Alice? What would yours be?
I think probably a Dale's Pale Ale or like a joint or something. Like if you could find a joint, but I would want mine to be like something you can actually just for no reason. You know how you can like chug whiskey, but it really just fucks you up and hurts you and doesn't do anything beneficial at all. It just and you waste money. Like
I
the
knew
joint
it
would
was
be
gonna
the
be a
same
Dale's
thing.
Pale Ale.
Yeah, or Dale's, something like that. Just
Like,
chug
yeah.
it. Your hydration and your everything goes down to like 2 for no reason. And
Nice.
That could be into the lore too, because of the USIC. The USIC, maybe they bring in the beer. It could totally.
What if it gave you like
totally
a
fit.
small stats boost, but only for like 15 seconds? Because you got like that vibe
Yeah.
of like, I just chugged a beer, like I can do anything.
Yeah,
like it gave you like a speed
Yeah.
and strength boost and stuff, but it was
and
like
intelligence
significant.
-15, perception -50. Like,
That'd be hilarious.
Oh, a
That'd be
can of
hilarious.
dip would be nice. Copenhagen or like Grizzly.
dip.
Oh man.
I
That's
think
so
honestly,
used
I
it.
think
What's
it's
it?
overlooked a lot, but the animations are probably some of the greatest things about this game. Like with the way they open, like
Yep.
he chugs the
Yep.
bot. Like those are fun, man. I
The
think they
sardine
need to
one
do
is
more of those.
crazy. Where they take like a whole fish or whatever and out of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
can. And
Yeah.
that's crazy to me.
And then they put it
Yeah,
in their
that's
chest. Like,
terrifying, dude.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. Yeah. No, that's definitely interesting. I don't know if I would mine would ever be.
They
I
should
don't
make
know.
cigarettes smokable.
Everybody's always like, Dad,
That's what
like
I'm
you already
saying.
have one in the game, but it's not mine.
cigarettes would be
That's-
sweet.
It'd be the
Cigarettes would be
shoes.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
it would.
think-
I like my stream rating would have to be like a pair of New Balances or like the part for a lawnmower or something.
The dad shoes. The dad shoes.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
see
the
what.
New Balances.
Yeah. What are those called?
They're somebody said it the other
Monarchs.
day.
They're monarchs.
Yeah,
right?
Balance?
those things. What is that, Dad Life?
These are New Balances, bro.
Balance.
Look at
No,
these.
no.
it's not that. That's not what I'm thinking. Hold on.
It's
gotta
like
get-
a
You're talking about
Air-
the old school, like
Yeah, Nike Air
80s dad
Monarch.
shoes.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's
god.
what you would. It would have to be. Yeah, it would have to be a dad, straight up dad shoe.
Yeah. No, I mean the white. It has to be white on white. For me, it would have to be a white on white like New Balance because I can't Nikes. I'm not a Nike fan. I can't wear them.
So funny.
They hurt my feet.
That's awesome.
My feet are too wide. You know, I got those like wakeboard style feet. New Balance 924. See, somebody knows. It would have to be like that, or like it would be like a pair of jorts. Imagine running around with like a killer
Silkies
tracksuit
would
top.
be sick. Silkies too.
Bro, silkies would be
Yeah.
awesome. Imagine
but-
actually running into raid with just silkies on.
Yes. And Dad Life's New Balances, and then like from the waist up, you're like fucking hardcore tack.
Yeah.
Ta-
Yo, tank top silkies.
Tack
Bullshit.
ops,
Bullshit.
some dad shoes and some Papanati panties. There you
Oh,
go.
the panties.
Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Somebody said Heelys. Jesus. Not jorts. Cargo shorts. You know, I don't own jorts, but I do own cargo shorts. I'll admit it. I own regular shorts too. All right.
Interesting, Dad Life.
What? That I own cargo shorts? Yeah,
No,
I know.
I
Who
just-
doesn't own cargo shorts?
The problem with mine
Talking
is I would
about
want it
shorts?
to be. Oh, sorry. I was saying the problem with mine is I'd want it to be trash related, but I don't know how to make something trash related that wouldn't look completely cheesy. and
Who
like
was it?
cargo.
Was it Outlaw or somebody? in
Outlaw
chat?
said it should be hair dye.
Hair dye would be a
How
good one.
often I
It would be
dye
a
my
good one.
freaking hair.
It would. Hair dye would be very, very mistrash.
That would be hilarious.
It really would be.
What about
Trying
that
to
wooden
think of-
chair?
Oh my god, I swear to God.
Small wooden chair. I'm telling you, it would be like. I don't
Like a
know.
model. It would be like a model, like a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
model item. You know.
Carson gets it.
Yeah,
Like
how
you
about
go
the
into
little, like-
customs in the marked room, there's just a chair you can't loot. Like, oh, thanks a
Yeah.
lot for your sweet streamer item, Miss Trash.
No, then it would be a small. Then it would be a small trash can, like just a teeny tiny little trash.
Well, and
can.
that's like what Atlas was saying. I think the game doesn't have to. It doesn't have to just be actual items that are lootable. You could just put in just little, tips of the hat. Just little things in there
In the game
throughout
somewhere.
the map. Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
it's painted on the wall.
Yeah, it's not.
maybe
You don't
it's
need it for
graffiti.
collector,
Yeah.
but somewhere in the map there's like the Miss Trash can. I think that would be
I want to be a
awesome because they
mini
could
trash
really get a lot more content creators involved if it was just like the one thing in the game that they like put it there. in your
Easter
round.
eggs is the technical
The
term.
little
My
Easter eggs. Yeah.
apologies.
Little Easter eggs. Yep. Yeah, like give me a little lawnmower outside resort on Shoreline. Little push mower.
Exactly. That's just it.
I would like that better than just like an item. Be like, yo, every time you go to Shoreline, my lawnmower's there. Little lawn
He's like,
tractor
I
or
can't
something.
even do anything with the lupo beans. What am I supposed to do with those? Like, I might as
Right.
well not even loot it.
Yeah. No, that's good. All
I mean,
right.
I'm just saying, if you could eat the lupo beans, that would be pretty cool.
That would be cool.
Saying.
Or like, get like all caffeinated. Like sick stand boost. All right, guys. We've been at it for like 3 hours now. So we're I think everybody's asked any questions they want. I think we could talk about Tarkov all night. We could talk about Tarkov forever, but
We could.
We could, but in the sake of everybody's sanity, no.
Thanks, Marcos.
You know, we don't have enough. I don't have enough boxes of tissues in my house to really get into it. No, I'm just kidding. So that being said, guys, we're gonna get ready to wrap up here. But before we go, you know, I want to touch base with everybody. Miss Trash, thanks for coming on. Can you please let everybody know where they can find you, when they can find you? Oh, that's not the one. We hit the wrong button. There it is. Ready? Boom. There's the button. Guys, Miss Trash, that's where you can follow her. Miss Trash, what do you have planned for the next couple weeks, content-wise? You gonna be playing Tarkov? You gonna be playing other games? What can we see from you coming up in the next couple weeks?
Probably mostly just Tarkov as per usual. Maybe a couple WoW streams for when Tarkov makes me want to throw my computer out the window.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Around what time can people catch you on stream?
4 PST, 7 EST.
All right, awesome. 7 days a week, 6 days a week, whenever you feel like it.
Sir. Whenever I can go around my new job, I
Right.
will have a more concrete schedule once my new job decides to have a more concrete schedule.
All right, guys, you heard her. Go follow her on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok. Guys, if you have those social medias, you better make sure that you're following her. How about you, Gino? What's going on? What can we expect from you? What's your schedule look like?
Well, the next month is going to be very interesting with a whole bunch of schedules. I'm doing my duo month where I play every single day with a new person. So that's going to be the entire month of June. And that's going to be fun. But I start every day at 10 a.m. So
Every day at 10 a.m. You guys
Yep.
heard it? 10 a.m. is a great time because for most people, you probably, even if you're not an early riser, 10 a.m. you're probably getting out of bed, so you can catch Gino at 10 a.m. You know, doing things, being friendly, and sharing positive vibes with everybody. So, guys, make sure you're following Gino on Twitch. Follow him on those Twitters, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. What's the rest of it, Gino? I'll let you finish it off.
TikTok, Tinder, Grinder, and Bumble.
Bumble and Bumble.
Love it.
What the hell is Bumble? I'm
You
not.
don't know what Bumble is? It's a
You're married.
dating
You're
app.
married. That's
Yeah,
it. You're
it's
married. You
very-
wouldn't
it's a-
understand. You wouldn't understand.
Yeah.
The rest of us single people, we you know, we were desperate, okay? I mean, what? Huh? Carson, how about you? When can people catch you?
So normally I go live at 7 Eastern. Typically it's about 5 days a week, but actually starting next week, it's just going to be Monday through Friday.
Okay.
Schedule's kind of changing a little bit. I no longer have classes, but I will still be working for the university part-time. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And I am trying to go hard on TikTok. So if you're not following me on TikTok, you're wrong, dude. Follow
Nice,
me on
what
TikTok.
university, bro.
University of North Carolina at Charlotte.
Oh, that's right.
Nice,
Yeah,
man.
for
That's
engineering,
where my
so yeah.
my sister-in-law graduated from. No way. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's a cool school. Weird location because of just like the area. But anyways, yeah, it's a cool
Yeah.
school. So yeah,
Cool, man.
if anybody ever comes through Charlotte, I'm always willing to take people to breweries, considering COVID's kind of on the
Noda,
on the
right?
fall,
Noda.
so. Noda,
It's
South
fucking good.
End.
Sorry.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome. So if you ever swing through Charlotte, for real, let me know, dude.
If you ever go to
Yeah.
Asheville, let me know.
All right, them beers, boy.
The North Carolina boys are kindling a friendship right now.
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah, that's what we're doing. That's what the podcast is all about. Friendships.
Yeah.
I think Tarkov community is all about kindling friendships. I mean, you guys are all my friends. I appreciate each and every one of you. And that's what's cool. There's no other community like this. I don't care what anybody says. There's no community like the Tarkov community. Nat, when can we? What I know your schedule can vary, which means people should probably be following you on Twitter, right? Because you post when your schedule's going to be. What do you got coming
I
up?
try to stream during the week after 6 p.m. Eastern, and on weekends I'll be anytime, mostly mornings, starting 9 a.m. Eastern.
All right,
ish.
awesome.
Tomorrow I'm streaming with Basic Chick. She's doing a 24-hour stream for Make a Wish.
Okay,
So if
fantastic.
anyone wants to show some support, we'll be there. sharing some love to basic.
Fantastic, fantastic. Atlas, what about you? What's your plans coming up here in the future?
I stream 6 days a week, every day but Sunday. I usually go live around like 11 a.m. ish, and like I said, I don't know. I didn't plan on taking a break from Tarkov, but I haven't played it in like 3 weeks. I don't know why. I just like I wake up in the morning and I'm just like, let's play something else. And I beat BioShock twice, or BioShock 1 and 2, and I've been playing squad. I'm opening my own squad server. And so yeah, that's it. I mean,
just been
just don't expect
taking-
a lot of Tarkov right now is what I'm trying to say.
Just taking a little break, trying to
Yeah. But I'm coming. I mean,
zen it
I
out.
still have thousands of hours. So
Yeah.
like, you need to know
tons of
anything,
hours. He can't get away.
If you
he's
need
just
me to
taking a small
complain about
vacation.
something, yeah, let me know. I can complain about.
Oh
these
my
things
goodness.
anytime.
This man Dan comes on in here as with the fat host of 26. Dan Burgundy, everybody. Can I get a shout out for Dan? A lot of us know him. We all love him. The man, the myth, the legend, Dan Burgundy. Guys, if you're not following Dan, make sure you give him a follow. Look at this. Nice. Man,
doing a fishing stream. Lord.
look at him catching them fish. If anybody's wondering, that's what I'll be trying to do tomorrow. We'll be
Nice.
maybe doing some live stream fishing, hopefully if the weather holds, but we'll see. We'll see. Welcome in everybody from Dan's stream. Wow, this is the longest clip ever.
That's a nice clip, though. It's like real.
That's
like that.
yeah.
You can.
Look at that
Yeah,
crotch
Dan.
shot.
That's
I was gonna
that
say,
is a
You can.
that's a
You can.
camera angle. Camera angle.
Say that's a
So if
you
you-
had time to say something.
With Clippy, you can do exclamation mark stop. Just
Yeah, I
FYI.
know. Yeah. no.
Okay.
He's
I was
opening a
just-
new.
I was trying to remember. I was like,
Twitch,
eh.
bro.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah. Guys, coming over from Dan's stream, you guys welcome on in. We were doing the Tarkov Talk podcast. We're actually getting ready to finish up here, and we're hanging out here. So welcome on in. We were talking about Tarkov for a solid 3 hours. What we good, what we love, what we don't love, what we'd like to see change. Talking about the game and everything that we that we're addicted to. So. Guys, welcome on in. Dan, I hope you had a fantastic stream. I'm not sure what you were talking about. Maybe it was just fish. Drew Maddock coming in talking about OnlyFans. Drew, we only talk about Only Stashes here. I am the proud owner of OnlyStash.com. Thank you very much, Drew. Get that OnlyFans stuff out of here. Jeez. Sheesh. Blue Z, thank you for coming in.
He fucking lied, dude.
What?
He fucking lied.
Who?
You, I'm on OnlyStash.com. It says
I bought it. I own the domain. I own OnlyStash.com.
Get this domain. I can buy
No,
it still.
you can try to buy it from me. I'm gonna say no. I literally own OnlyStash.com. All right, guys. I think we got everybody. We talked about Alex, everybody. All right, so me, I stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays. Saturdays I usually stream twice. Once in the morning before that little guy's up, or while he's getting up and playing Roblox with his friends, and then again at night. And then and then we might be doing a little fishing stream this Saturday. But 3 days a week is when I stream. You guys can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I'm really pushing that apparently because it's twice on that command. I also have an Instagram. Yeah, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Yeah, those are my medias. I also have YouTube. You can get to my YouTube following nope, that's not it. That's not the right one. There it is. You can also catch my alter ego on occasion called Daddy Disrespect, just in case you guys were wondering.